discussion on this topic. You think we can manage that?
But even then, Poison Ivy is taking a different role in a lot of things now. Instead of being like an arch nemesis to Batman, now she's more like Harley Quinn's girlfriend.
But she was never a
Nothing
big
wrong with
nemesis.
Oh no, I'm
She
very happy
always-
about this.
She always helped Batman. Well, kind of helped Batman, and she was, I don't know, more like a surrogate mother to a lot of kids. That what happened in Gotham.
But I don't. As long as it's not what's her face playing Poison Ivy again, Uma Thurman and her ugly ass feet.
That was bad.
Oh god,
That whole movie was bad. Let's not even think about it.
cool. I like.
Oh yeah, it was that one
Oh,
too,
did you
right?
guys did you guys see the
Yes.
the Frozen?
Yes.
I watched that video and my eyes started to bleed and I had to turn it off.
Oh, that was great.
I forced myself to sit through it. It was entertaining. I'll never do it again.
That was awesome.
All right, so we're going to talk about the Let's Talk campaign. I started recording it because I wanted evidence that Mark does talk on a podcast.
No,
Just in
I
case
saw
if he
it
shuts
recording.
down and starts giggling in the background, you guys know that
No,
he
but
does have a
the-
voice. No, I'm recording. No, go ahead. What?
I didn't want to cut you
Stage
off.
fright.
Stage fright.
Well, no, the first time was just I wanted to see how it goes and who says what and
You had a
the
little fun.
lines, where the lines are, because listening
You
and viewing
literally,
are different.
yeah, you literally participate in our worst podcast to date.
No, it was entertaining.
It was entertaining, but I mean, compared to other podcasts, that one was. I love the name of it. Super off topic. Literally, that's what it was. We were completely off
It
topic.
didn't have the Rainer factor.
Yeah, and
So
that's
this
why
one, in
Rainer's been
theory,
banned
should-
from never showing up.
This one should be better in theory. No
Well,
pressure.
next time I have the flu, which is probably hopefully going to be another 7 years, because that seems to be every time I
You
get
get the
it.
flu every 7 years?
Yeah, I don't get it.
How old are you?
30. I used to get the flu a lot when I was
4 times.
younger, and then it just, last time I got it, I was 23, and then before that was beginning of high school.
Huh.
I just don't get the flu.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And then when I get it, it's not so awesome, because I'm like, oh god, this is what it's like.
It's probably because she stays home when she gets the flu. She doesn't go to somebody's house to a friggin' New Year's party or something.
No, that's how I got the
Sorry.
flu. Because my
But anyways,
two of my
I'm
friends that are
hardcore. I
there
like
work
going to-
at daycare, and so they bring home all the freaking viruses, and it's like, why do I feel like my guts are gonna spill out? I message Lindsay, you're a bitch. You and your viruses that you
Does she
carry.
listen to this podcast? She might be stabbing you tomorrow.
No, I already told her. I'm pretty
So-
honest.
Episode 16 of, well, technically this is episode 16, which is like our 28th actual pod. Because we have so much content now, it's crazy. So today we're going to talk about the Bell Let's Talk campaign, about making people aware of mental health. I can honestly say, just looking at the numbers, pretty impressive.
Mhm.
I mean, off of text, was it 5 cents a tweet or a text message?
5 cents per phone call, text, tweet, and Facebook share. Because they had it cross all just about all social media genres, and they did include text sent on their network and phone calls made on their network.
Wow, that's actually pretty decent. So we have a grand total of $5,500,000. I'm rounding up $500,000, which was raised. Which Mark said that's the above line, right?
Above and beyond what they
Above and beyond.
normally
That's actually
do,
pretty
'cause
decent.
They normally make contributions, yada yada yada. So this is the bonus.
Definitely. Like, I mean, how do you complain about that $5 million over a day? Like, I mean, maybe they should have just ran this for a week. I don't know. Maybe they could have stretched that out a little bit longer than a day.
Considering their profit margins, they certainly could have run this for a week and still come out on top, no problem.
I'm not saying Bell is a bad company.
No,
They're
it's
the only ones who step up for something.
I will give them
serious.
credit where credit is due, and this
Absolutely.
is something they did, which was I was in favor of.
Because the problem is with mental illness is that, again, people try and treat it like it, like I posted something about if we treated mental illnesses like physical diseases. We had a guy like putting insulin, like shooting insulin, and says it's like you're not even trying. Well, the problem is with everyone has bad days, everyone gets depressed, but the problem when you are diagnosed with depression is that it's a chemical imbalance that you need medication. And you don't just go on a medication and suddenly you're better. It's
Right.
trial and error to see what corrects that imbalance. And a lot of times people are on antidepressants for years and years and years, and they don't have any kind of relief. They're struggling every single day because it's genetic. I know quite a few people who have just been struggling since they were teens. And it's really too bad. Like you hear their stories about. They've been committed. Their suicide attempts just because it's like, and to to finally have some kind of awareness on that, because it really is a silent killer. A lot of people bottle it up too. I mean,
Absolutely. I mean, my personal experience with it was with my ex. She was diagnosed depressed and bipolar. So, I mean, when she had her downswings, they were really, really down. It took 4 years and 27 different prescription combinations. I still remember the numbers. And three different psychiatrists and psychologists before we finally got, for lack of a better word, the right cocktail where she had some balance in her life that allowed her to move forward with things, to be just a little more capable of being in control of her mood swings. She still had them, and sometimes they were still very severe, but with some extra cognitive behavior therapy, she was able to control them a little bit better. And the lack of education, that I had, and I thought I knew a lot about mental illness when I was going through this. It shocked me how little I actually knew.
Yeah.
It was an educational process for me. I fully support this project because not only is it important that the stigmas are erased for mental illnesses, it's important that people that have it get the treatment that they need, because there's no need for anybody to have to suffer in silence on this, or even not so much suffering, not even just suffer in silence, suffer at all. There's plenty of help out there. There's just not enough of it. We need more people in the field. We need more research in the field.
We just need people to stop being judgmental and say, you're not even trying. Have you tried this? Have you tried to exercise more? Like Tom Cruise said about Brooke Shields, that because she didn't exercise enough and take vitamins, like, wow.
Scientology!
Yeah, way to, and that's the thing, is that, like, postpartum depression is very real.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's another thing that people don't understand.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's linked differently, but at the same time, it kind of goes back because they do need some kind of treatment while they're going through that postpartum, because it's separation.
Yeah.
It's still pretty dangerous. Look at, you read the stories about mothers who just abandon their children, and people think, oh, what a horrible person. No, it's because something happened in their brain chemistry after they had the baby and they needed help. Like, it has nothing to do with being a horrible person. It has nothing to do with, quote unquote, not trying enough. It has nothing to do with lack of exercise. I know plenty of people who are clinically depressed who get plenty of exercise and are still depressed. Like, my depression was helped with exercise because I'm not chemically imbalanced. Me, it was just, I was having a crappy time, and I just needed more endorphins released in my brain, so I started working out.
Yep.
Done. It's fine for me.
I think, and I gotta address the elephant in the room because someone's got to be on the negative side. I think that I knew it was gonna. I was just saving Mark because, it's never good to have your first podcast to piss everyone off in one shot. No, I mean, I am full agreement with everything that is being said, but I also believe the system is flawed, and it's flawed, especially that I know, and I know Mark knows offhand, that there is people that play the system to get short-term disability, to take away these opportunities from people who actually use it. And I feel that, and this is just my opinion about doctors in general, is that they're quick to judge something without fully looking into it and saying, you're depressed, here's some pills.
That's what happens.
Something wrong with you? Here's some pills. And then you got these people taking away pills that can go to patient B who actually is suffering, who needs this type of stuff. These people are not crazy. They're lazy. There is a difference, and it rhymes for Mark.
See, when I was on Paxil for a year, and the reason why I was even on it, I went to the doctors and said, I want to go to therapy. I have a lot of emotional baggage. I'm honest about it. And it was bringing me down. I couldn't do it on my own anymore. And I said, I want to go see a therapist. I was asking for a way out, for help via therapy, not pills.
Yep.
He gave me a prescription for Paxil.
Yep.
And because, again, my brain chemistry isn't, it's not offset, it's not in balance, I didn't need those pills.
Yep.
It turned me into a zombie. I gained so much weight because of the side effects on this pill. And then when I said, you know what, no more. After a year, I went off of it, and the withdrawals were horrible. There's people that I hate with a true passion. I wouldn't wish that upon them.
Sorry.
I wouldn't. No, not Brian. Like, I mean, legitimate.
Oh, okay.
Not like joking.
He seems to really grind your gears a lot.
Not joking. Haha, Brian, I hate you. It's no, like, there are people that I hate with a full hatred. I wouldn't wish that upon them because those 3 weeks of the withdrawals from Paxil, I slept 22 hours a day. And when I was dreaming, I was on a freaking merry-go-round. I'd wake up, throw up, and then I didn't eat more than maybe like 200 calories a day because I get up long enough so that I can eat a bowl of cereal and then go back to bed, and then eventually probably just throw that up. And then by the time the dizzy spells were done, I still wanted to kill myself. Yeah. And then probably about 3 weeks after, I was fine. I was back to normal Rainer. I'm like, I couldn't believe that those pills made me go through all of that. I couldn't believe it. I remember all of that.
And like one of the reasons that the doctor probably prescribed Paxil over therapy, drugs are cheaper.
Drugs are cheaper.
And they did the same thing, and I'm sorry for cutting you off. My dad, without getting into too much detail, had a similar situation. He was dealing with a lot of demons, I guess I would say. And I remember he took the first step to say, I need to talk to someone. Like, there's something wrong. I need to figure myself out. And he was battling depression at the time, really heavy depression. It was a very scary time. And I took him to go see the doctor. He was in there, no joke, 3 minutes. Came back out with a piece of paper in his hand. Like, what the fuck is that? Mm-hmm. Well, he took him. Would you believe it was Paxil?
I'm not surprised.
No, I ripped it out of his hand. I ripped it out of his hand, I ripped it up, and I threw it out the fucking window. I'm like, this is fucking bullshit. Is that you went to him saying, I have problems, I need to talk, I need to get some type of therapy, and you hand me a fucking slip for pills?
Yeah.
That's a massive misdiagnosis.
That's why I took it upon myself to go see the therapist I'm seeing now. Like, Taran told me about him. And if my current doctor, she's very understanding. When I told her, she says, well, why didn't you come through me? I said, last time I asked the doctor that I had at the time, he's gone now. I told her what happened, and she just shook her head. She says, I would have sent you to a therapist.
Yeah.
And it's not, and the thing is that a lot of doctors, yeah, I get it, they have a big workload, they have a lot of patients to see, but that's not something that you can brush off. That is not, you need to get blood tested. You need to get...
Got to earn that 6 digits a year somehow.
Yeah. But you need to get a proper diagnosis on your depression. If you are clinically depressed or you just are battling demons. Like, I have a lot of emotional baggage from my childhood. To me, that's not a chemical imbalance. That's just me just struggling, and I need therapy. Yeah, I don't need pills to get through. Because I'm not clinically depressed. It's just
no, but I mean, I think
shit that happened to me growing up.
But you know what? I wouldn't say every person because I don't honestly know, but I say a large variety of people have gone through depression at some point or another, and they dealt with it their own way. I dealt with my teenage depression, I'll call it that, with making horror films, making action films, writing music. I did my own thing, and I'm that type of person that has to have something going. Mark can attest to that. I have to be doing something. I cannot just sit at home and do nothing.
Out of it.
I make a hobby, i.e., welcome to the podcast.
Yeah.
This was a hobby that I never thought would grow to this magnitude, and I'm not complaining. I mean, it sounds weird, but it's like it's giving you some type of purpose. Yeah. But I mean, but there is a world full of a lot of misdiagnosed people, and there's a lot of people right now that are on prescription drugs that don't need to be. But there's a lot of people who need to be who are not because of those people. Mm-hmm. So I hope that when they get this money, that they sit down, and we all know it's not going to happen, but I want to be delusional over this, is that they sit down and go, we need to have better standards on how we diagnose people with mental illness. We need to really deep dive this. We have doctors making 6 digits a year, making guesses like a mechanic on what's wrong with you.
And they don't just need a better diagnosis system, because the diagnosis system, there's only so much you can really do with it, because there is a lot of guesswork involved with
I guess I would
health.
Say maybe
they need
research.
They need a bigger infrastructure, especially here in Canada. I mean, you hear people talk about our healthcare system and put it up on a pedestal, especially south of the border, but living in it, all of us here can talk about how long some wait times are.
Yeah.
To get Tara into therapy back in the day, the reason why it took so long was because there isn't enough physicians that have a deep enough background in mental health, especially in this area.
Yeah, I agree.
We ended up having to trip to Burlington and Hamilton for two different therapists. One was private, and the other one was public health. And oddly, the public health one was the one that got us better
and a lot
results.
of it's not covered. Like I'm paying out of pocket for my therapy.
Yep.
And I have the lowest, and because he has, they say, do you have benefits? Nope. And that's the thing is, our healthcare is glorified a lot by people, south of the border. But when I was visiting my friends in Florida, I was telling them about it, and I said our wait times could exceed 14 hours in the emergency room.
Absolutely.
I said it took me 7. I went for an ultrasound to get my to see what size my gallstone was at the end of September. I didn't get my gallbladder out until middle of March.
Yeah, and that's kind of what...
I was in pain 24/7.
And I will fight everyone about this when they talk about how good or how fucking health system is. Clearly, you've never sat in the Welland Hospital before.
No.
Because it's a fucking nightmare. The only person... Mark is the only person that I know in this world that was able to sit there and have a positive experience where I was thrown out of the Welland Hospital because they had this...
disturbance?
I did. Because I was waiting for... Remember the whole banner on the wall? Were you there or was that Ryan? I don't remember, but... I was waiting in the hospital. They were just they were putting in the new wing that's there now. And I was waiting for 5 hours. I had pneumonia. I was coughing shit up. Back in my I love smoking all the time days. And and I'm sitting there waiting. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm dying because I can't stop coughing. I can't breathe. I can't. And there's this giant banner on the wall that says, what would you like to see from your Welland Hospital? And
a doctor!
I screamed at the top of my how about a fucking doctor? Nowhere will I. 5 minutes later, he comes in. He's like, "Get out." I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me? I just waited 5 minutes." He's like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "Just a fucking doctor's note. You're just gonna tell me it's pneumonia and send me on my way." But I mean, where I'm working currently, sometimes you need a doctor's note. That's just how shit works. And that's what really pisses me off about the health system in Canada. And
they lay nurses off. That's the problem.
They lay off the people that matter.
They don't just lay off the nurses. Once they've laid off the nurses, they've been replaced with RPNs or RNAs, people that don't have the same kind of because they're the less cost, but because they also don't have the same they don't have the same medical background, they don't have the same qualifications,
but also they don't have the same experience.
Exactly,
they haven't been around.
They don't understand that they are single-handedly, and we're getting a little bit off topic, but I'll segue us back. But no, but the problem is, and this can even go back to the mental health part of the conversation, is that we are taking nobody doctors who do not know much about anything because they only did a certain thing, whatever, in their tour. They were giving them to people who need a real doctor who's experienced, who can actually sit there and say, well, I've been a doctor for 30 years. I see this is what it would be. We're getting guys going, well, this is my first rodeo, so it's going to be Paxil.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be my little guinea pig.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, realistically, we're paying people $6 digits a year for you to go sit in a hospital and be like, it could be your alternator, could be your starter, but it's probably because your battery's not hooked up. I mean, that's why I like going to the hospital. My doctor, my personal physician, is fantastic.
Yeah.
Because he told me one time, he's just like, I'm making my back hurts. He goes, you're fat. He was right. No, it's true though. I was extremely overweight at the time.
Did you like the answer? No.
I did, because you know what? I needed to hear it. Sometimes you need to hear these type of things, and thus started my journey. But
what did he say?
He did. He's a very blunt doctor.
Now time out.
He is he's like House with not British.
When he told you this, and I remember this, you were furious. You
I
thought
was.
he was the worst doctor in the world.
He was.
And so on. Looking
But I
back
needed to hear
on
it.
Is a different story.
You need to hear it. But I think that the new era of doctors, the new generation of doctors, are quick to pop a pill than they are to actually fix the situation. And then you're going to have all these people dependent on all these pills. There's people now that was popping 4 pills at once, oh, this is for this, and this is for that, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. They don't fucking need it. They need someone to sit down and go, talk to me.
Yeah.
And just to get back, my personal physician, she's amazing as well. My experience with her is amazing. There were periods of time when my dad was really sick. She was in the office once until 11:45 at night, waiting for a lab report to come back so we would know what to do with my dad, whether we were taking him to the hospital or whether he was going to be fine for another 24 hours or whatever. I had my physical done 2 years ago, and her exact words to me were, if you don't do something about your cholesterol, your physical fitness, and like 5 other things, she's like, you're not going to live past 60.
You want to tell me something that's going to fuck you up right now? You ready? You have to pay for your physicals now.
Yeah.
Not covered. So you go and send your physical?
Every 2 years.
No, 3 years.
Every
3
2 years.
I'm
Now
fine.
you got to pay for your physical. Well, I know, but I mean, don't you think
Yeah. Oh,
that's something that should be like, no, let me make sure you don't have the HIV.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Well, no, exactly. I mean, there's still plenty of flaws and lots of things that need to change.
But I mean,
I think we're making some. I think and I hate doing this because with a public health system, I don't like private intervention because then it leads to that public-private debate. But I think Bell is doing a good thing with this Let's Talk.
I agree.
It's raising some awareness, and I mean, I saw when I was looking at the hashtag on Twitter. The Bell Let's Talk hashtag wasn't just tweeted in Canada. I saw tweets from
the world.
Camilla Luddington in the States. Most people will know her from Tomb Raider or Grey's Anatomy. I saw tweets from Jamie Alexander. I saw tweets from...
Now imagine if they were
William
able to fully
Shatner.
advertise in the world
Yeah.
how much they could have profited.
Oh, they did, because there were people that follow a lot of these actors and actresses on shows are in South America, North America, Europe. Bell Let's Talk.
Yeah, but Bell is just
It's more of a Canada thing.
It's
So like, if I was an
Canadian.
American, if I'm an American, I'm like, Bell, fuck that. Yeah, it's complicated. I know they don't understand stories. But I mean, what if, and this is good product placement, I think what they did was great. They made their own day, they made it their own thing, and now they're going to be known for it.
Yeah, but they've had this for like a couple years.
This
now.
is the
But I think
third year, I
This is the
think,
third
isn't it?
year.
And this is the biggest.
This is the biggest.
Every year
But you know
it's always
what?
bigger than the
If they
last.
could have waited, I know it sounds really stupid, and I'm not trying to nitpick, waited 1 month.
Why?
Olympics. And just fucking sold the shit out of the Olympics. Now you have
Especially considering that
a
Clara
worldwide.
Hughes, yeah.
Absolutely.
is their spokesperson, who is both a summer and winter Olympian.
We would be looking at 5 million right now. We'd be looking
The
at
only-
10 million right now.
The only problem, though, doing it with the Olympics, though, is that there's a possibility of other stories and other bits like possible terrorist attack.
Oh,
and this and
fuck
that.
off with
And
that
all
shit.
sports stories that'll
There's always
pretty
gonna be
much
a terrorist
take-
attack.
Well, no, I get it, but the thing is, though, those are stories that'll take away from that.
Uh-huh.
What day was it on? The 28th of January? What the hell happens on January 28th? Nothing.
We get that much closer to Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
But that's my point. Nothing. There's no Super Bowl. There's no.
No,
major
you're right.
story.
I'm not thinking outright.
Exactly. There's no
And-
major news event happening on that day.
Right.
And there's nothing. There was no summit. Nothing like that.
I
It was
agree, they
just
need their
a
own
day.
day.
Yeah, basically.
They need their
their
own
own
day.
day.
I
Well, isn't there actually like a mental health awareness month or day?
I'd have to Google that, but
If there
I am
isn't, I'm sure there will be.
99.9% positive it is an actual.
There are a lot of things, like even celiac disease. The month of May is Celiac Awareness Month. I'm like,
great,
yay!
my birthday month.
It's not a fad diet, it's an actual disease. So stop being ignorant and look at me funny when I buy
Happy for
groceries.
having
Your disease shares the birthday month with me?
No, the disease wasn't born in that month.
It could have been.
So
Playing the Tauruses is what you're trying to say,
Yes,
playing the
playing
bulls?
with Taurus and
What the
Saturn
shit is
and
that?
Geminis.
No, but to come back, I'm going to say this. Bell did a great job. Whoever gets this money, we'll see.
Thing is, it's not one specific
No,
person or whatever.
but where it
it's
goes
the
to.
system in general that
Yeah.
gets it. But the problem is, and this will probably irk a few people, is that the whole mental awareness thing and whatnot, it's great. I've got nothing against it. But the reason why they're really pushing, and I mean Bell and any other organization that pushes
Money.
for it, is money.
gotta make money.
And they want to get their name out there. It's like, hey, we're Bell. We're trying to be good, which is great. And if you can profit as a company for it, good for you.
You
But
will
the thing-
never find a company that will not want to make a profit,
But
even
the
if it's for something
problem with
good.
it though is that we need more awareness, we need more money, so then the services are better and so on. Well, the thing is, there's nothing wrong with the level of service. It's the level of people coming in, and I mean for mental health, for hospitals, doctors. The reason why, in my opinion, is that doctors just here's a prescription. is because
They're
there's
overwhelmed.
Exactly. There's too
That's what I
many
said.
schmucks. And I'm not going to say it's just because we've got more people from other places of the world, because we're basically all immigrants when it comes down to it, other than Native
Yeah.
Americans. So I'm not even going to bring that one up.
Thank
It's the
you.
fact- no, I'm
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to be
Well, we're all
PC here.
totally, yeah.
But the thing is, it's the fact that I'm seeing parents go to the emergency room or something
For a bruise.
with their kid, and the kid's got a freaking cold. Give him some friggin' orange juice, some chicken noodle soup, send him to bed, don't send him to school. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah,
I mean,
I didn't
it's
go to
pretty
the doctor's
basic.
once
Well, no, but that's
when
the
I was a
thing.
kid.
It's
I went maybe
Home
twice my
if
entire
you're
life.
sick, you stay home.
Well, I
man. You
had
stay
some health issues when I was younger, but I mean that's nothing you can do about it. I had a heart murmur and I had
But
like,
that's
massive asthma.
real. That's
Yeah,
the thing.
Asthma.
Not
My
that
asthma was bad.
not that a cold isn't real, but I'm sorry, if you need to go to
But
a
you know what
doctor to
astounds
figure
me?
out what to do with a cold, especially now with the internet, telehealth Ontario, I've personally used that service probably about a half dozen times.
Really?
I've got
I've-
kids, whatever, and you just call up and you say, okay, this is a situation, whatever, and then they go through a huge amount of questions. At the end of it, they have like the Jerry's moment, at the end of Jerry Springer, how he
Yes.
sits down and
God.
tells you what's what. And that's what they do, and they tell this to you in English. They say, well, this is what it is, this is probably what it is, blah, 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 so on. If this continues, you may want to consider this. Otherwise, you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so on. But the thing is with the mental health too, though, is that everybody, I'm depressed. No, you're just in a shitty mood having a bad day.
Yeah.
And the thing is, there are people that do need medication. There are people that do need treatment and so on, and going to the doctors. I get that, but honestly, and I'm not bringing up numbers or anything or saying that I know any numbers, but if I'd be a betting man, I'd say 3 out of 4 people that are air quotes depressed are not.
There I was.
1 out of 4 are legitimately chemically unbalanced
Well, that-
or need therapy. The other 3, you know what? You need to talk to your damn parents. Your parents need to talk to you. You need to talk to a friend.
And-
you need an
yeah.
outlet to vent
Yeah.
something. You don't need medication. The thing is, it's self-medication is going for a buddy with having a coffee. You're having a bad day. You know what? It's time to go get a brew. Let's go. And you self-medicate that way. You don't go to the doctors and stress the system for people that need it. And that's my
That's
whole bit.
too. I think that's. And I
And
agree with that. Maybe not the 3 out of 4, but I mean,
Well, I'm just throwing out another, just
Oh, okay.
because
I wouldn't say
I'm
a
just
3 out of
saying-
4, but I
I'm
would
just
say
saying that
that's
there's more people that are not chemically unbalanced, air quotes again, that are getting medicated for it. And best example, I know somebody who's a family member who is clinically depressed. He's been clinically depressed since he was 27 or 28, and he was doing his thing, whatnot, and they put him up on the different cocktail, like Andrew was saying, and he was literally a zombie. And he lived as a zombie for about 4 years, sleeping 19 hours a day,
Yep.
being on
What's the point of
disability
living at
because
that
you can't
point?
do anything.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, well, you know what? You're an idiot. You need to scale it back or something because you're a zombie. You're wasting your life. What's the point of living? No,
Yeah.
and there was never a suicide problem with him. So that's the reason why that was said. And he scaled it back. And guess what? He's an active member of society now.
Yeah.
He's still medicated, but he's not a zombie because
Yeah.
the cocktail has been tweaked.
Yeah.
But now also there's another person who's involved, same situation, and his doctor, just for fun, and I'm saying just for fun because it's my own terms, tweaked it and just threw in, yeah, no, there you go, placebos. Didn't tell him. Oh, and guess what? He's acting the exact same way. So that's 1 out of 2. I know it's a very small sample size, but one person
It's still
chemically
50%.
unbalanced,
That's a good
one person
500 batting average. Still-
bullshit playing the system.
There
And
is a
that's
lot of people
why-
do it. Like where we currently reside in Welland, there is a lot of people that live off of.
Oh yeah. They live off the
And
government.
I remember one time I was outside, back in my smoking heyday. I was sitting outside of where I work, and this guy was just standing there and was having a cigarette. And he looks at me and he goes, "Hey, you working there?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Hey, I told the government I'm crazy, and guess what? Your taxes pay for my paycheck."
He legit said that.
Yeah,
to you?
and I looked at him like,
Wow.
"Well, guess what, asshole? They're gonna be paying for your broken legs now."
But you
He
didn't
fucking
break
took
his legs.
off.
You didn't break his
I
legs.
was fucking
Because you
livid.
didn't have to pay.
No, the problem is though it's hard, and I know there's the perception that people like there's. I know that will probably spark an argument that there's people that do not need meds. I'm a firm believer there is probably a giant pile of people that don't need meds, but I think there's also a lot of people that's like, well, today I do not feel like being an active member of society, so I can go on long-term disability, and all I got to do is make my doctor convinced, which in today's standards is not hard, that I'm crazy. And I've known people who've done this, and I'm like, I'm working X amount of hours a week, paying X amount of taxes, pushing myself down harder, and there's people like you that's ruining this fucking system. And then I see Bell's like, hey, we got $5 million, we're going to give this to blah, 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 blah. And then I'm thinking to myself, which makes me sick to my stomach, is that this asshole might get it.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't even deserve it.
Here's a fun question.
You're right. He doesn't deserve it. But the people that are doing that, I still feel are such a significant minority that it's not a huge problem. And the biggest problem where these people are able to take advantage of the system don't happen because they're not just because they're trying to take advantage of the system, but it's happening because the system is so overburdened, because it's so understaffed.
That's what I meant to say.
That it's able to happen that way because they can't weed it out, because they don't want to take the risk. It's like, shit, is this person really suicidal or are they playing me? I don't know. I can't take that risk because my malpractice insurance is already high enough, so let's just take the safe route, give them some low-dose meds and see what happens.
But to my comment to that, which is true, I agree, is that why are we paying these people so much, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year? Like, I mean, ask yourself.
Cost of living expenses.
Well,
Come on, you of all people know what the cost of living expenses are.
Yeah, but I'm paying some asshole guidance counselor, I'm going to say that. Fucking, he's making $75,000 a year, whereas we knock about 10 of their wages down to $50,000 a year. Guess what? We got about 5 more doctors. We can spread it out. We're overpaying doctors is what I feel is what the issue is.
It's a bidding war for doctors.
It's a bidding war. They're like, I want this neurosurgeon and I'm willing to pay him $500,000 a year. He works once a week. But I'm going to pay him $500,000 a year. And he's going to end up on Grey's Anatomy. Like, what the fuck? We're overpaying doctors. And then they're like, we don't have doctors. Well, of course not.
Why? We can't afford
We're paying them too much.
Well, it's not that you're paying them too
I'm not
much,
saying that their skills are not a talent and it's not a necessity.
To get through med school
it is a pain in the ass.
Time.
I get that, but why should we pay someone $500,000 a year to work once a week? We're like, you know what? Let's scale you back to $250,000 a year.
Most doctors in Ontario don't make the sunshine.
No, I'm just doing the fucking.
The thing
American,
is
well, yeah, but I mean, we're talking.
I don't know actual numbers for here in Canada.
We're talking about the Canadian. Most my family doctor makes her wage public.
That's rarity.
Yeah, it is. But she's a public health employee, so it's technically mandatory.
Yeah.
She makes $222,000 a year for her private practice.
Mm-hmm.
From her private practice, she has to spend 20 hours a week at the local hospital that she has privileges at, which is GNGH, Greater Niagara General. And from her 20 hours, which she usually does 30 a week, she makes $32,000 a year.
See, but that's the thing. She's actually putting in a
that's
substantial amount of hours.
Yeah,
I mean, and that's the problem.
It's kind of hard for me to fight that topic because I mean she's doing her own practice plus doing that, but there's people who don't do that.
Yeah,
well, that's the thing. There's so
many. But the doctors that are strictly hospital doctors that don't have their own private practice, typically are making less than doctors that have their private practice. Doctors that are strictly hospital workers.
Yeah.
For example, a doctor pulling 80 hours every 2 weeks at Greater Niagara General Hospital emergency room is making about $95,000 a year in their first 10 years.
Wow. Still more.
That's still enough to
live.
I'm not saying it's not a livable.
2.5 times what I make.
I'm not saying that's not a livable wage. I'm just saying, we're talking about,
Yeah, but I'm sure you can survive off of $75,000.
We're talking about people that are getting competing wages, but it's only when you're getting into like specialties.
That's what I was talking about mainly.
That you're getting into that kind of a problem. And the problem is that the specialists, people are going into the specialties that are making the money. They're becoming the cardiologists, the neurologists, the obstetricians, and I can never remember the guys that do the bones.
Oh, I know you're. Now you just
bone doctors.
Bone doctors.
We'll just call them bone doctors, because that's where the money is, and people aren't getting into psychology where. Of
course not.
They need it.
It's not lucrative
because they don't get the same kind of money. Even if you can get a practice, you're not. That's
It's
the
not
only
overly
way.
that lucrative. Like
That's the only way you're going to make a profit.
You know what? This is the thing is it's a lot for a lot of people. It's the bottom dollar. If someone's like, you want to be a psychologist, you only get paid $50,000 a year. Holy crap! I've been living below the poverty line for 4 fucking years, and you're gonna pay me $50,000 a year to help people? Hell yes!
But here's the
Fuck,
problem.
man.
But
with
the
that.
problem is
I
that
could be able to live on my own.
here's the problem. They set the standards many years ago of paying specialty wages so goddamn high. And now listen, when you're going through, and back to that comment about fucking medical school alone, a fucking nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
You're looking at 10 years of education.
10 years of
plus.
education.
10 plus years
Would
of
you
education.
do the
to get a
10 years of
specialty.
education and maybe make 100? Let's say 150 grand is mental. Let's say if you got your, I don't know. Let's go with his numbers, like 220 grand, or you can become a specialty and make double that. Like, I mean, of course, the bottom line in most people's lives is
This is
always
what
going to be
you
money.
wanna do.
It's always going to be money. So, like,
I wouldn't want to be a doctor.
It is what you want to do, but after a while though, and the thing is you'd be surprised how many doctors are doing it, and they're doing it because originally, like, I want to be a doctor, I want to help people, I want to try to heal people, yada yada yada, and they still want to do that when they're out of medical school, when they have their practice, when they're almost retired from the practice. That's still what they want to do. And then there's these other ones that are like, you know what, I'm tapping out.
Yeah,
But guess what? This is mad cash, so I'm all over it. I'm just going to take as many patients as I can. Your appointment's at 2 o'clock, no worries. Oh yeah, I booked 6 people for 2 o'clock also because I get my base pay, but then also you get a little bit like what is it, a gynecologist or something like that. The chick doctor. Yeah, there we go. That one, the chick doctor.
the vaginal.
I would know.
They get their base pay, which
That's
is
good.
given, and then they get a little bit extra for
I hope I
every
know.
person they see, and so on top of that. It's like, and I'm not saying it's an extra $20, but basically, if you get an extra
It's a huge
$20
percentage.
for 4 people an hour, or you can squeeze 16 in that hour, well, that's 4 times more than what you made. And guess what? You're making these people wait, and they're still going to wait anyway.
Still making the
because they're
money.
going to wait in that crappy.
But the
ass
bottom
waiting
line it's going to keep coming back down to is the money.
Money.
It's
Money.
always going to come back to money.
Yeah. Like,
So, how about this? And this is really random. How about we take this $5 million? If I was the person who had the $5 million, why don't we put it towards research or something, like more research? We just recently found a way in some type of therapy to slowly start curing people with the peanut butter allergy. Slowly, and I mean very, very slowly. Which now is a national epidemic, in my
Because
day when I was a
it's
child, I
airborne.
loved peanut butter.
Eat dirt.
Eat dirt.
Oh, whoops, sorry. Didn't mean to say that out loud. It's because kids don't eat dirt anymore, they over-sanitize. But that's just my
Yeah.
2 cents.
I-
Oh, you
no,
gotta
it's
wash
true.
your hands every
It is-
3 seconds.
It is true.
legitimate.
And the best part is
You're
when
not
you
building
when you
immunity.
explain to people who use that fucking hand sanitizer all the time, you're not really destroying the bacteria.
You're not building
You're
your
just
immunity
building the film
whatsoever.
of it.
Like, I get and I agree with washing your hands before you eat a meal using your hands. That's you do that. That's a given.
Yeah.
But you don't wash your hands every 30 minutes.
No.
Unless you're OCD.
You
Then
know what?
if you are, then you
I had
have
to do it when I was a
because
butcher.
otherwise
It's
you go
one
nuts.
thing if you're a butcher, yes, you need to wash your hands every 30
That's
minutes.
common sense, but guess
But-
what? You
Or a
gotta put
doctor.
signs up in
Or
the
an
workplace
OBGYN. You
because
wanna
people
wash
don't
your
have
hands.
that kind
And
of
I think I'm
common
pretty
sense.
anal. Like, I wash my hands like 8 times a day only because I'm not fucking, like, what's his name?
I don't know.
The guy who's a germaphobe. From America's
Howie
Got
Mandel.
Talent. Howie Mandel, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm that crazy, but I mean, at the same time, though, it just sometimes certain
You just
things
feel
that bother
dirty.
me. Some things really bother me.
Well, see, like after going to the gas station,
Oh yeah,
I don't
you
like- I
you
don't like
take a
that.
shower.
Pumps
yeah,
all
the pump's
day.
disgusting. And another place I work, I've dealt with money, so that is the most disgusting
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
So I frequently sanitize and wash my hands. But
Oh.
the thing is when I was a kid, it was go play outside, go get dirty, go whatever.
But when you were a kid, you didn't handle a gas pump or money.
No,
So it wasn't like nasty, it was just
I put money in my
dirty.
mouth.
it
I
was
don't
just
mind.
dirt, yeah. But I mean,
I have no class. I'll admit that.
yeah.
And because of me, well, not because of me, well, because of me, because I kept giving Brian money, we've actually put a stripper in retirement. I will take that as my own. All right. So
Hopefully the
ultimately,
podcast
we're
broke
leaving
that.
it at this because I think, I love the conversation we had, banging on 45 minutes. It doesn't feel like it, does it?
This is very geek related, eh?
No, we try to.
It is.
You know what? I think it is kind of geek related.
No,
because
it's
there's a lot of-
important. It is important.
Yeah.
You're down. Calm down.
He was kidding.
You know what? Listen, we're enjoying the fact that Brian took this weekend off. Do not fucking ruin it for us.
Yeah.
Don't take his role, man. Don't do it, man. Okay. So ultimately, I guess what it comes down to, I'm sure we all can agree, is that we're very happy that Bell took the initiative.
Yes.
Got the almost $6 million.
And it's never going to be
We're gonna
enough.
hope. We're gonna hope. Oh, I am. Anyways, I'm gonna be delusional and hope that something good will come out of it.
No. I'm the one that's supposed to hope. Remember this?
Yeah, hope like Obama. Yeah.
Thanks, Obama. You see the gift
And by the way,
right
to
now?
our American
Jesus and
to our
his-
American audience who is going through the whole Obamacare thing, whatever, free health care
isn't the greatest
isn't
thing
that
in the world.
great. And
The
I tell you,
idea.
I have never flaunted it in front of anyone.
No, you know what I did? I paid $350 to get 2 fillings yesterday. It is not awesome. If you have benefits, you fucking enjoy, you fuckers.
Sorry.
All right, moving on. Oh, should we leave it to the end? I don't know, because it's going to spark rage.
Yes. Next.
Let's leave the rage sparking for the last.
Because you got to
topic.
slowly.
Well, there's
ramp
2
it up.
topics. They're both equally as shitty.
Alright.
Okay, first off, Michael Bay. We'll go there.
Yes, well,
Michael Bay.
Ninja Turtles were my
Explosions.
favorite.
You
One
know
of my
what?
favorites growing up.
You know what? Fuck that. I actually don't mind the design because it reminded me of Turtles 3 when they were back in time and you saw the scroll. They had like the scroll, like these are the turtles, blah, 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 and they had like the wooden chest gear and stuff. They do look like this. Kind of like you watched Turtles 3. Thank you for actually paying attention, Michael Bay. You watched Turtles 3 and went, I gotta make it like this.
He didn't watch it. No.
No, he
I'm with
proved
you
he
on
doesn't
this one.
watch anything because of Transformers. We got that.
No, but it made a massive amount of money. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And what
You know,
would
I
it
was
make-
told the other day on the page that Michael Bay has nothing to do with this. He's just blah, blah.
No, he is just the producer. He's not directing this one.
It
He's
doesn't
still involved.
matter.
I blame him.
He still has that final say.
He's the one that got this fucking ball rolling when everyone's like, no. Transformers 1, I'll give him the buy. It was decent.
Transformers 2, I was like,
It
that's good.
wasn't that bad. I keep saying Turtles. Transformers 3, I'm like, wait a minute. Leonard Nimoy is not him. Leonard Nimoy is Galvatron. Everyone knows this. You have just butt-fucked the universe.
But
How
here's
dare
the
you?
thing, though, is that all that does is it pisses off the hardcore fans, and they're not there for the hardcore.
Hey, Raider, you just went
fans.
offline. Good for
They're
you.
there. Oh, wow, good stuff. They're there for money,
Talent.
and it sold a
Did it with my mind.
It
stupid
did.
amount. And kids that have never seen the originals loved it.
And
You
did you,
I
and did you
thought
notice that at the
different.
beginning of the third Transformers movie, they're watching the episode where Spock goes nuts?
No, I totally missed that Easter egg.
They're watching the Star Trek episode where Spock goes nuts.
Really?
Yep.
That's
Now I'm going to have to
cute.
watch that now.
Yeah.
I totally missed
The,
that
the
Easter egg.
two little racist baby bot Transformer things.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
The tiny ones.
Yeah, the
Wheelie-
two little, yeah, the
Wheelie
two
and
little
the-
ones.
that was
Wheelie
supposed to
and the
be
second
like...
guy.
That was supposed to be Cliff Jumper and... what's his name? The
Yeah,
devil
the-
one.
the little ones, yeah.
Wheelie.
Wheelie.
Sometimes you just don't need comic relief that annoying.
But the thing is, though, kids loved it. My
But here's the
5-year-old
problem
loved
is
it. My
that-
10-year-old loved it.
And I don't give a fuck what any parent says except for you, of course.
Oh.
The only you actually know what comes out of parent is that kids don't know what good cartoons are these days. And the reason why you're excluded because you show your children Transformers, the original Transformers, and the original Turtles. They know
And
what good
in the
cartoon
original
is.
Transformers cartoon movie, they say, "Oh shit!" when the planet was eating
Yeah.
friggin' the moon. And I'm like, "What the hell?" They said shit on a 1984 cartoon. And right away, my oldest one, he just looked at me after he heard the word shit, gave me the eyes, like, just don't repeat it at school.
Well, what do you
Okay, and that's it.
But here's a question: when Prime died, did he cry?
I still cry.
everyone
Cry.
cried.
Man,
Yeah.
I died when Prime was killed.
Because we knew it was coming. Rodimus
and I
Prime.
hate to say it. When I watched, what was the second one that really sucked?
Which one? The
No, it wasn't Dark of the Moon. It was Revenge of the Fallen.
Yes.
I'm like, as soon as he died, I'm like, they'll find a way to bring him back before the end of the movie.
Please
because there's
do not bring
because
Rodimus
only a
Prime.
Prime can defeat the Fallen. Wow, they didn't set this up so unbelievably simply. Like,
No, you know what
Wow,
they could have done? They
it's
could have
horrible.
fucked it all up.
Kids, though,
They could
were
have brought in
still
Rodimus
like,
Prime and invoked
wow.
a giant nerd rage that even Rainer would never return
The
from.
thing is, though, with the kids,
I would've
and
been-
that's what the movie was for
I
the
would have been on
younger
the dark side of the
generation.
moon.
And the same thing with the original or the second set of 3 Star Wars. I'm not going to go that way, but I'm just saying.
Easy. That's still sensitive here.
Episode 1, 2, and 3, not 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, and 3 was all based for kids and younger generation. That's why I pissed off.
I would say the first 2.
Jar Jar. I'm sorry. Jar Jar was for kids. George Lucas even said, I put that in there.
And being the biggest racial joke ever exists. No.
But that's the point. It's for the kids, and it sold a stupid amount.
It did.
If they would have made it for
I actually liked the first Star Wars.
And you know what? If you watch, what was it?
Revenge of the Sith. Honestly, the third.
No,
one,
I liked the first one. I liked the Phantom Menace. Why? Darth Maul sold that shit.
Yeah, he did. I'm not gonna say he wasn't any good.
What was the? Oh crap! What was
Attack of the Clones is terrible. I'm like,
that was. I own it. I don't even know why I own that.
But
shit.
there's a document. It sold.
Hold
on, guys. There was a documentary. I want to say it was called The Legacy of Star Wars.
Was that the one that was on YouTube for like an hour?
No. It's like an hour and a half.
No, I watched it.
I saw it on an independent film channel, and you know what? It gave me a little bit more appreciation for the prequels than I had originally. I still don't like them, but I understand a little more of the mythology behind it. So I can kind of get behind it to a degree. I think the storytelling is what was lacking there.
Yes.
Rather than...
If you can go back in time and stop Christian Haydenson from being in this film, who would you replace him with? Because, honestly... I'm going to sound stupid, but I was a fan of the kid in the first movie. I thought he did a good job.
Yeah.
And then they brought Christian Haydenson with the fucking rat tail. I'm like, what the shit is this?
But he didn't... But the thing is he didn't want to keep going. He stopped... He stopped being an actor. He hasn't done anything since that. I think he did one other thing, and then that was it.
No,
not Hayden Christensen, the little kid, Jake.
He didn't want
yeah,
to continue.
no, I think that's a huge thing for kids.
Yeah,
there's so many, like, look at Lindsay Lohan. Like, I hate to say it, use as an example, but I mean, she's one of those people that would start off as a kid, or Macaulay Culkin, or Justin Bieber. You got all these people start when they're very, very young, and then they fucking burn out like a motherfucker, or they fade away.
But then they can come back like Drew Barrymore.
Yeah.
Okay, no one has that power.
I'm a fan, but still.
Bonable. Still.
The thing is that a lot of them, like, those kids work hard, and they don't want it. Like,
and that's why I'm worried about, what's his face from Walking Dead.
Yeah. And Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the kid.
I think
I give him respect,
still goes
though.
to school, though. He still goes to
school. You know what? I give him respect.
Whatever.
I give him respect because, you know what? Unlike all those other fucking people we just mentioned, he goes to Comic-Cons. He makes sure he goes out. You know what? Chandler Riggs, I apologize because the first time I saw you, I couldn't stop making fun of you. Now, I'm humbled. I am humbled only for the sole fact that he goes out of the way to go to every single Comic-Con. He makes sure he says hi to every single person he can find. He attends school, doesn't do his homeschooling shit. Goes to school and tries to be a kid. That is a huge thing.
And he sucks at math. So he's not paying off his teacher.
Yeah.
No, like seriously, because you have a stupid amount of
money. You know what? Believe this.
You know what?
Like,
exactly.
Fuck this.
It's like, I'm an actor. You're going to give me a B at least. Otherwise, I'm getting you fired.
It's
I'll
not
call
like
my
Avril
agent.
Lavigne. Avril Lavigne dropped out of school after she got
she's
famous.
such a talent.
Oh God! Do not start that war. Back to Michael Bay.
Yes, back to Michael Bay. Let's talk about these turtle designs.
I'm not against, but I'm not sure if I'm pro.
I think they're a little more modern. They still look like turtles. They have shells and they have heads that resemble the original.
They don't have like the snout as much.
They have lips or something?
They do, but it's because instead of having like the full facial, I guess you would say, they kind of just went. So it's kind of like this. No one can see it, of course. But
my thing is not okay. Yeah, what they look like. It's how are they going to be? Are they going to be like the old Ninja Turtles are? Like Michelangelo's he's the party animal. He eats all the pizza. My favorite Raphael was the vigilante. Yeah. He was the loner.
Raphael.
He was guarded. Are they still going to be like those characters?
I'm not going to say anything bad about it because when they came out with that TMNT animated film
a couple
years ago, everyone said
good.
This is going to be shit. And I think I went with Mark to go see it. I can't remember who I went to see in the theaters. But I remember that battle between Leonardo and Raphael. That was a badass fucking fight.
But
I mean, I think what Michael Bay needs to do, he needs to bring this back to, not even Michael Bay, whoever is fucking directing, I don't even honestly know nor give a shit. When I saw, I'm posting the picture of the Shredder today, so Michael Bay gets, I think I already did. So Michael Bay, if you see it, I know you're mad about that shit.
Don't blame us.
Don't blame us. Blame the internet.
Taking the pictures.
Clearly, you have someone in your camp that is taking pictures for, as I said earlier, TMZ. And I'm gonna, you know what? I'll give you a high five for the Shredder. Shredder is intimidating.
He looks good.
He's intimidating.
He does look good.
I'm happy they got away from the old. Here's a claw. Purple. I like. He looks like Super Shredder. Remember
He's
Super
a
Shredder from
sharp
Turtles
body.
2? But
Yes.
I'm intimidating now.
Yeah.
But
Which-
is it Kevin Nash?
I was gonna say, and Super Shredder was played by Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
But
And voiced by James Avery. Uncle Phil, rest in peace, bro.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
so sad.
forgot about James Avery.
I actually shed a little tear. I'm like,
But one thing I will never forgive you. Fuck you over April O'Neil. Fuck you.
What's wrong with
why
that?
Megan Fox?
Thank you.
Megan Fox?
Yeah.
It's Megan Fox.
Oh,
Did you not?
oh, I thought she wasn't even like.
And the
acting.
nerd rage
She was
invokes.
Okay,
like-
so April O'Neil is another one. Aside from like Rogue,
Oh.
Lydia. Yeah, I looked up to April O'Neil because I thought she was a badass. I loved her in the movies. I loved her in the cartoons.
Was that a redhead?
Yes.
Oh, my bad.
Megan
I-
Fox ain't a redhead.
No.
No,
That's
she's
what,
now a redhead.
That's what hair dye's for, dude.
Oh my!
Anyway.
Really? You
Some
didn't
people
see
don't
this
look good
shit?
with a
I can't
different
believe
color
this.
Hair, like Jessica Alba in the Fantastic Four. That hair color, oh my god, she looked nasty with that.
Some people do not
But
look
that's
good
just
certain
me.
hair colors.
Yeah,
No,
So
I,
what's
I,
your
wouldn't,
thing?
I can't go blonde. Are you kidding me? No one can see.
Challenge
no one has
accepted.
ever-
No, he was going to-
No one has ever seen me as a blonde. However,
it's gonna happen.
April O'Neil,
It can work.
Chloroform.
again,
April O'Neil.
April O'Neil,
Bring
stop
it back.
talking about chloroform. Yeah, but this smell like chloroform?
This is.
So
And that's
yeah, April O'Neil
That's how we get
is
ran around the show.
again I have to say any girl who watched Ninja Turtles, you had to have looked up to April O'Neil. I mean, again, she was badass, independent, strong chick, and to have someone like Megan Fox who cannot act her way out of a fucking plastic bag,
Wet
play
paper bag.
someone that I grew
Huh?
up
That's what she looks
loving.
like. No
It's
red hair.
so disappointing. It was just like Halle Berry playing Storm. And you know what?
What?
Halle
I
Berry
didn't-
playing
not-
Catwoman was worse than Halle Berry playing Storm.
Thank you for pulling me off
Halle
that ledge.
Berry playing just about anything because I've yet to see her.
Except for when she
Thank
played the
you.
role in Swordfish and showed her boobs. I was
I
happy
still
with it.
didn't think that
I
was
wasn't
really
overly
good.
impressed, but I mean, I was like, she
No,
looks
she
good with short
can't
hair.
act, though. She's like,
No one
yeah,
can
look at
act.
my titties, and that's all she
Explain
did.
all the films Schwarzenegger got. The end.
It was just action. That's all it was. Action or comedy, and it was like it's just a name.
Didn't she make that horror movie called Jonah Hex as well?
Yes.
Yes.
She couldn't. And,
there
did
was
you
a-
listen to her horrible attempt
Jennifer's
of
Body.
a southern accent?
Jennifer's Body. What's the name of that shitty vampire film?
Werewolf film.
I
Was it
can't-
werewolf?
Was it a werewolf film? I don't know. I didn't watch it.
Anyway.
No one
Shite.
watched it.
Poor
Brian did.
choice of actress to play April O'Neil. You know who is the chick
I know.
from Can't Hardly Wait? I want to say Lauren Ambrose. I want to say that she's a natural redhead. She should have been April O'Neil.
You would know because you're a Spider-Man fan. Play Gwen Stacy.
The
Emma
last
Stone.
one?
Emma Stone with the red hair from.
Superbad.
Thank you.
Lauren
Sold.
Ambrose. You've got
Marriage. Marriage.
it. Yeah, you've got it. Lauren Ambrose. She's a little old though.
Doesn't
for
matter.
April O'Neil.
What?
She looks quite young.
She does, but
Hold on, wait. I'm
Just a
looking.
bit of makeup in your brain.
April O'Neil
oh,
wasn't
you know what?
young.
I retract.
April O'Neil was
I had a huge thing for her from 6 Feet Under.
Lauren Ambrose?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what?
she's hot.
what was the first? I think the first thing I saw Lauren Ambrose.
Can't hardly wait.
Was it Can't Hardly Wait she was in?
Yep.
Like, there's certain looks she has, you're kind of like, but
I
then
liked her
she
in,
does her blue steel, if you want to call that
But
a
here's the
I
thing,
Zoolander.
think the first time I ever saw her in anything was when she was in Torchwood, when she did
Ooh.
Miracle Day.
Forgot
What
about
name
She was
creates
good in
more
Georgia.
buzz? Laura, or whatever her name
Lauren
is, Lauren
Ambrose.
Ambrose, or Megan Fox?
Megan,
Megan
Fox
Fox,
doesn't even
whether
have
it's
a buzz
good or
anymore.
bad.
No,
but whether
no,
it's
Megan
good or
Fox
bad.
just looking at Megan
Fox.
Because if she would have been cast, and I'm pointing to the picture on there, who's that again? Lauren
Lauren
Ambrose.
Ambrose.
If she would have been cast as April O'Neil, we wouldn't be talking about this. It
No,
would-
because-
I
that's
would
the
have
thing.
said
No,
great
because everybody
choice.
would have
And that would have been
End of
And
discussion.
But
zero
this always
publicity on
happens,
it.
though.
No
And when-
extra argument on it, and that's what's selling it.
But this is
And
what
when you
pisses me off
cast
is
Megan
that-
Fox, you get, well, why did he cast Megan Fox? She called him a Nazi. And he
Yeah,
kicked her
that's
out of
right.
the third movie
That's
for that
right.
reason alone. Why would he work with her
We got
again?
some dumb blonde in the third movie.
Oh,
I will
that
always
cool.
say she is
She was
not.
pretty, but she was
Rosie
I can't.
she was. I said pretty. I didn't say
Who,
hot.
in the third
pretty.
one?
Yeah.
Everyone.
She's kind of like one of
everyone-
those
Yeah,
ones.
Mick
If I had too
Jagger
much to
style.
drink at a bar, it's a possibility. But I wouldn't go out of my way to sink the
I will-
lure, if you want to call it that.
Rosie Huntington Wheatley.
Exactly. Who's that?
I don't think
Yeah.
She was a Victoria's Secret model turned
Oh,
actress.
there you go.
Oh
Obviously,
God.
that panned out so well.
What's-
Michael Bay just has this thing about hiring women.
And the
who
next Green
can't
Lantern's gonna be
act.
played
But
by
the thing is,
Seal.
though, did anybody go watch that? Did anybody go watch that movie to see her act, or see the kick-ass effects and the Transformers and stuff?
I went and looked at her boobs. I don't know why.
Yeah, but that's you.
No, but I mean, Megan Fox, though. People go see
Megan.
Megan Fox go, lips, tits, ass. And then mute. It's kind of like watching a Britney Spears video back in the heyday when she comes on, you're like, mute. Oh, good. Like, or when John Cena talks, mute. Like, that's what you do. You
Unless
don't
it was
want
Master Thug.
No, but it's true. But she's a good actor. The Lauren Ambrose is actually a good actor and very
She's
passionate.
established.
It's kind of like watching Superman Returns with the girl that played fucking Lois Lane, and I had to like look at her fucking forehead the entire movie.
Oh,
Amy Adams? Or
no, not
No, take that back.
Yeah.
Take that back right now.
Oh, you said Superman Returns.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I thought you meant Man of Steel.
Rose McGowan? No.
No.
Oh, but she has such a huge forehead. Like the kid.
Wait. Kate Bosworth.
Kate Bauer. The kid had more acting talent than her.
Yeah, I can't.
And all he did was throw a piano at somebody.
Parker Posey had more acting talent.
Ooh, that's
Ooh,
rough.
Yeah,
Parker
Parker
Posey.
Posey's good though.
Wow.
I like Parker.
But you know what? I am always going to be an Emma Watson fan. I'm going to stand by that. Both of them. I'm going to be a fan of both.
It's just like January Jones. She should have never been Emma Frost, and I'm glad that she did not reprise her role.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much happy about anything she doesn't do. If we can stick to that, it'd be great. Like, she was in Mad Men for the longest time, and they really cut down her role, and I'm like, thank you. I don't like looking at you, and you put a lot of weight on, which doesn't really help your appeal. Like, she ballooned out. I think it's because they made her wear, like, the suit to make it seem like she's a broken-down housewife. I'm like, you just should just let her dress the same way, because now she looks extremely horrible.
All right, so we're all kind of we're all really upset about the Megan Fox casting.
Yep.
Yeah,
We
I
haven't
think...
really talked. We all kind of agree that the
I'm not...
Turtles costumes don't look horrible.
No, they don't. I think...
Shredder looks amazing.
And
I will
Shredder,
say that.
fucking,
I
oh
just
my
again,
god,
you
he
know-
looks awesome.
I want to know is Rocksteady and Bebop.
Oh my god,
That
that
would
would
be
be
pretty
awesome.
From what I got from IMDb, no.
Ah!
As long as it's not too
Ah!
like friggin' like
And
rhino
Todd
suits or
Brady
something, then I'm okay.
No,
with
it'd be
it.
awesome. And Bebop is voiced by Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh
He's
yeah!
That'd be
dead.
awesome.
But he came back from the Rapture.
Yeah, and
Oh,
also Tupac's still releasing songs, and he's been going since the '90s. So I'm
Elvis
sure
been
they've got
dead for
friggin'
how
stuff
many
on.
years? Gets a Christmas album every year.
Didn't Queen release something? With
Yep.
Freddie Mercury.
You know what? That's
Yeah,
fine
someone
because we like
released,
Freddie Mercury. This is a
vocals or
Freddie
something,
Mercury
yeah.
zone.
Well,
Yeah,
you
Jimi
want to
Hendrix
keep,
has
know
some
who
stuff
they've
too.
got to play Shredder?
Oh, I'm not sure if I'm ready.
Well,
Okay, I'm ready.
You're gonna
I'm
hear
ready.
it. William Fichtner.
Why do I know this name?
You know him from a whole bunch of films.
Oh,
As
wicked!
As I turn the photo around,
That dude's awesome.
everybody playing along at home, feel
I was looking up on my own. Son of a bitch.
Everybody
He's good.
looking. Everybody look.
Unfortunately, his worst role was always in my mind, which will be Armageddon.
Yeah.
But he was
Yes.
actually really good.
yeah.
I don't know. Did you
Great.
see him? Did you see him? Did you see him in Lone Ranger?
Yeah, no, because I refused to watch that movie.
Good. But
He was good in Prison Break as the FBI agent.
I'm
too.
hoping he's just the voice because he's 57 years old, and I just don't know if he's going to be able to handle that.
Stallone
kind of
is 71 years old.
Harrison Ford.
Okay, don't talk about. Hold on. And in the interview today is Harrison Ford. Harrison, how's your day?
All right, let's not dig into somebody else's podcast. I thought he did quite well for
Being
what he had to work with.
You did very well for being senile, sir.
No, I really, what I liked him probably the most in was Black Hawk Down.
You know what? I'll give you that. Here, how was he in Ender's Game? Because I actually do want to watch that. I know you watched it.
Ender's Game wasn't bad. It had there was a great morality
Huge
play
cast.
there. There was a great morality play in that movie, and the ending, because I hadn't read any of the books, really kind of threw me, and I was just like, I dropped my popcorn.
Huh.
I had an idea it was
On
coming.
purpose?
No, not on purpose.
Happy
dropped
birthday,
my-
Michael C. Hall.
I
to say that.
dropped my popcorn because I was so shocked. I was pretty shocked with the ending, and then I'm like, wow, that was one hell of a good reveal for people that haven't seen the book, and et cetera, et cetera. You kind of see it coming, but if you don't, then you know.
But I mean, in terms of TMNT, I know we keep fucking jumping off, but good conversations today. We're cool with the costumes. I think
Yeah.
we can all go in agreement. I don't know about Mark because he's kind of hesitant.
I'm all right with it.
But I mean,
as long
you know
as
what?
they don't
It's
try to
nothing
make it
stupid. They didn't make it like, because I remember it's like, they're going to be aliens. I don't even want to, how you're going to make it seem like a turtle is an alien, but we'll leave it at that.
It was done by radiation.
Yeah.
Stop, Michael Bay.
It's
Stop.
the environment.
Winners go home with the prom queen.
But I'm fine with the way they look. I think Shredder looks badass. It's my thing is
I'm sold
you
on
have
Shredder.
to keep the characters the same. Michelangelo has to be the party
Like
animal.
the-
we
yeah, the
keep
same-
all
I don't
Oh,
think
yeah,
they're
they've
going
got
to
him-
change
they've
that at
got him
all.
wearing
Donatello
a hoodie.
has to be the smart one, the IT guy, and Leonardo's got to be the natural leader, and Raphael's just got to be the Lone Ranger guard.
Well, Raphael is, because I remember the first pictures we saw of this when it came out a long time ago was Raphael walking through the city streets with April O'Neil. You can't tell it's him now, but he's got this giant fucking hat on. Do you remember Turtles 1 when he's like, I'm going to go for a walk, and he ran into Casey Jones?
Yeah.
He had that same type of costume, more or less, and he was walking through the busy streets of New York.
When he's in his vigilante outfit, he's got helmets
He's like a
on,
robot.
He's got an armor. It's,
And then also I'm going to do a quick pop. Kevin Eastman. Niagara Falls Comic Con this year. Excited.
Is Peter Lynch with him too? Is he not?
No, just him.
Just him. Oh, okay.
Just him. And also, a quick comment about that Niagara Falls Comic Con. We also have what's his face from Back to the Future, the old guy with the bald head, also in Top Gun.
Lloyd?
No.
He was the guy from Top Gun.
That's what I remember him from.
And the girl from Back to the Future. So it's good to see that they're there. So we're going to move on from there. Let's get this over with. There is going to be a lot of raging. I'm letting this go. If this goes on for half an hour, I'm perfectly okay with it.
All right, so
I'm going to say that
breaking news yesterday, and the internet has been afire with it since.
I think people are just blowing that out of proportion, really.
Jesse Eisenberg cast as Lex Luthor, and Jeremy Irons cast as Alfred.
I think
let's start with Jeremy Irons
That's
first.
where I want to
go. Let's go with the less controversial choice first.
I like it. I like Jeremy Irons. If he has that creepy, I don't want to say creepy, I'm trying to think of a role that he played. It's kind of funny. Knock out the German accent, Die Hard with a Vengeance. No, but I mean, I just like how he talked, like the very intellectual conversations and stuff like that. I like how he talks. At first when I heard Jeremy Irons, I was like, really? Michael Caine's that busy? But, I don't know, it's a whole Nolan universe thing. But, I'm sold. I like Jeremy Irons as an actor. But Gal Gadot anyways.
In that role, though, I don't know. I mean, he's probably going to be able to pull it off, but right now I'm not seeing it.
But I mean, they said the same thing about Michael Caine. Oh, Michael Caine's going to be Alfred. This is horseshit. Okay, now you got a good Alfred. What's your argument?
The thing is, though, Michael Caine, he was able to pull it off because he had the smart British look to him, but also he was very... Oh, wait. Oh, that guy. Okay, cool. No, he was very... He still had, like, he had the heart to him kind of thing. He had the emotional side. And this guy, I don't know, he plays a good Nazi. And they don't really have much emotions.
That's a good one.
Sounds bad, but that's
get us some Nazis.
But that's the thing. And the best part about all this bad press and the bad press, this bad, everybody's going crazy. What happened to Ben Affleck? Oh, that's right. Nobody's talking about him anymore.
Oh, that's bullshit. That's still happening.
Barely.
Well, no, because it raged for 3 months, and then fucking Justin Bieber runs people over, so we got distracted.
It's taking the heat off.
And Miley and her twerking. But
she needs to squat.
But here's my opinion on Jeremy Irons and his casting. He strikes me as the Alfred Pennyworth that I saw from the old animated series where he was ex-SAS and kind of a badass. So that's what I like about this particular casting is he can give that yes, I'm his butler, but I can also be a little bit of a badass at the same time. So I think he's going to be good. He certainly has the gravitas for the role. If he can dial himself back a little bit, he'll be perfect. Because he's a very I don't want to say he's over the top, but when he goes into his monologues, he can be very dramatic and very screen stealing, and for a character that is really just in the background, you don't want Alfred Pennyworth stealing a scene from Bruce Wayne. That's about the only thing I've got there. Is that as long as he dials himself back to take that supporting role, he'll be fine.
I want to know if he's going to be the Alfred that breaks Superman's nose.
Probably. He played Scar.
You don't want to go over there, son. Why? That's Welland.
Yeah.
I fucking
That's
love
the
that
cardio section.
That's the cardio section. No, but I mean,
CrossFit.
don't fucking CrossFit. Don't bring up CrossFit.
Back to topic.
Why would you do this?
So what does Rainer have to say?
Yeah,
Mr.
On
Irons?
both of those guys, honestly, I don't know much.
Man in the Iron Mask.
Yeah, that's the only thing I've seen him in, and quite frankly, that's fine.
Three Musketeers? You didn't see Three Musketeers?
Yes, I did. I don't remember him in it though.
Is
I
Aragon?
remember him in
Aragon?
Kingdom of
I didn't
Heaven?
see it.
No.
Kingdom of Heaven.
I just went
He
through
was
his
oh,
resume.
great
The only
film.
thing I saw him in was the Man in the Iron Mask and Three Musketeers. That's all I've seen him in. I don't have much of an opinion. If he's gonna do great, cool.
He was more bigger in the earlier, like, what was it, the 80s?
Voice actor wise, he played Scar, and that's how I remember
Oh,
his name
God.
because I remember the credits. And like, he sounds scary.
I think Jeremy Irons has a lot to bring to the role, and I remember
He's established.
very established. But then you ask yourself, like, I mean, I felt bad for Michael Caine because when he got casted as Alfred, the bar was set by the original guy that played Alfred, and that's where he took a lot of criticism. It's like the guy, who was the original guy to play Alfred? I don't recall, but he's like, oh, you don't want to screw this up because he set the bar as Alfred. This is what Alfred's mannerisms are. This is what Alfred is. Michael Caine came in and said. He didn't come out and say that he was a badass, but he made comments, if you watched the Dark Knight trilogy, where how the Burma conversation, about how they burned down a village to find the thief. Like, I mean, obviously he can take care of himself, just an age scenario.
Yeah.
Got too old. But, I don't know. I don't think he's going to get that much of a role. I think this Man of Steel movie they're trying to cram too much into it, just so they can say, the next movie is your JLA, so you can say, well, we established Flash, because Flash is going to be in this movie. They said he's going to be in. Doesn't have to be in. It's going to be a cameo. It's going to be a walk-on, but it's something.
Did they say Flash was going to be in
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
I thought they'd abandoned that because of the CW Arrow series.
I didn't read that. I might have missed that.
That's okay. We'll
Then you got
find out.
Gal Gadot, which they're like, well, she's going to be more of a cameo than anything. Like, she's going to have a little on-air time. Like, breathe, Baker.
Calm down.
Oh my God, dude. I mean, you know what? She might start knocking back some protein shakes. You know, she's got a few months. She's got a year. Lots of time.
They're filming now.
Well, how do you know that her one role is 5 minutes and 6 months from now?
Okay. No,
You don't know.
All I'm going to say is, has anybody seen Shallow Hal and you see the fat suit they put on her? Maybe they could do the same thing with
No,
Gal
but
Gadot.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, but they shouldn't have to.
No, they shouldn't have to.
I know.
So let's
You
get
should-
back on topic on
So,
Jeremy Irons.
Like, Jeremy Irons is going to be a good Alfred. I just don't know what Alfred's going to be, because there's, obviously, to the conversation we had before, the multiple billions of universes that DC has. 2, is he going to shave his head? Like, is he going to do, like, the old Alfred look, or is he going to have the short hair? Is he going to have the mustache that fell off in the movies? There was no mustache in the movies. In the cartoon, there was.
Oh,
In the
yeah,
comic was.
that's right.
But the original Alfred never had a mustache.
But is
And Michael
this
Caine never had a mustache.
remake of anything? No, this is its own thing.
Did the
So
Alfred
they'll
in
do their own thing.
the 60s have a mustache?
I believe so.
I-
And he did in the animated series.
Well, yeah, but if you read the comic book, you always, and I know it's really stupid, but to appease the fanboys, which I know they are agreeing, sometimes you want to get a little bit
Yeah,
close
you
to
gotta
it.
Exactly. The whole April O'Neil being Megan Fox, you got to appease to people who grew up watching Ninja Turtles and not have such a twat. What?
No, she wears yellow.
She
That's
wore yellow. She
close,
got
right?
the yellow jacket.
Yeah,
so
she's
got
pretty close.
she's 1 for 10.
So Jeremy Irons.
So
I think Jeremy Irons is going to be fine. I think he is not going to be the crown jewel of this conversation.
no. So let's move on to what has the internet on fire, and that is Jesse Eisenberg, mostly known for playing kind of
Zombieland.
Mostly
Whiny.
Zombieland, and then he did Zuckerberg.
well, he's done more than just zombie.
No, he did. What was it? Now
Zombieland,
You See Me or something? Did
Adventureland.
he
Now
do
You
that?
See Me.
Which
Yeah.
That wasn't too bad of a movie.
It wasn't that great of a movie, but he
Yeah.
did pretty. In my opinion, he did pretty well.
I think
Social
in
Network.
terms of the
I
kind
think
of character
Social
he
Network
was.
was his big
Crown
thing
jewel.
that he
Yeah.
doesn't. He's not being typecast as the awkward kid anymore. Like
Yeah.
Michael Cera is one that's never going to get away from it.
Well, because he
But
has that look that's
Oh.
never going away.
But Jesse Eisenberg, I think he can have some credibility to play. Like no one thought that Michael Rosenbaum would have played a good Lex.
I would
Luthor.
die for him to be Lex.
It would be amazing, but look at all the movies he did beforehand. Like he did Sorority Girls. I mean,
Yeah.
he was a
Gotta start
comedic
somewhere.
actor. Exactly, he was a comedic actor, and then he was cast as Lex Luthor. He did a dynamite role in Smallville. Who's to say that Jesse Eisenberg can't? I personally have faith in Jesse. I think he could be quite established enough to do it.
I think
Just as long as he researches his role and just doesn't say, "All right, so I'm Lex Luthor. Who do I play? A badass billionaire? Okay." Like it's
Basically,
you gotta research.
so. You got
this will
to.
make or break his career, in
Yes, it
my
will.
opinion. Either he's going to knock it out, and then he's going to be commanding big money for any role, or it's just going to tank like his role, not the movie. The movie's going to make a stupid amount of money. It doesn't matter how poorly written it is, but his character and how he portrays it, how he acts it, and so on is going to go one way or the other. He's not going to be he was okay. He's either going to knock it out, or he's going to stink.
No, you know what? You cannot be like Kevin Spacey and be in a very bad Superman movie and everyone goes, that movie was shit. Spacey was great, though. Like, I mean, Spacey's a good Luthor.
Spacey's a good anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Put him in anything and he will be good.
Because he's Kevin fucking Spacey.
It's so true, though, to your comment. Like, here's
dress him up in green as a turtle and he'll be fine.
Did you know Timothy Oliphant, when he started out, was actually a comedian?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
And he's like, I fucking suck. Like I'm not going to repeat the joke because it's actually really bad. But his first joke kind of like sunk him, and now he's got that I'm an asshole, smart ass kind of thing going on. But in terms of Eisenberg, I think he can do it. But I want him to be like Manu Bennett, who plays Deathstroke in Arrow, who he actually grabbed a stack of comic books of Arrow and went, I'm reading these motherfuckers. I'm going to become Slade.
That's what you have to do.
And he researched it, and then the first time you've seen him officially as Deathstroke, outside of the...
It's like any job. You can't apply to be a forklift driver without knowing how the fuck to drive a forklift. You have to get trained on it.
But there's been too many times that things were half-assed. Like, the previous Superman in Superman Returns, he kind of looked at it and went...
January Jones. Anna Paquin. Taylor Kitsch.
No, but I mean, Brendan Routh, when he played Superman, he didn't pay attention to what they were doing. He's like, this is a tribute movie to Christopher Reeves. Great! We're happy you wanted to do that, but we suffered because we watched a fucking 2-hour shitty-ass movie. Besides Kevin Spacey. Like, I mean, there's questions you got to ask yourself. When you watch, like, Daredevil and Catwoman with Halle Berry, like, did you even look?
Did you read the comic book?
I'm going to give Affleck a pass on Daredevil, but I mean, the movie entirely was shit.
Yeah.
Like,
that's what I ask about...
Michael Clark Duncan, you black flavor Kingpin. I'm never going to let that go.
Like, I will always say, everyone says that Taylor Kitsch did horrible. Now I know his name because a lot of people are talking about it, the new Gambit thing. But they say, oh, well, you know, he did such a shitty job. Well, the producer, director, and writer obviously were the ones that were in charge. I mean, granted, I can't blame the actor entirely. I'd say like 10%.
It doesn't feel like he even studied. To my
Exactly.
opinion, it doesn't feel like he studied for this role.
It wasn't written well. That's the
Oh
problem.
no,
exactly.
it wasn't
That's
written
what I
well.
say. Like, he was, the Gambit was not written well. It seemed very lazy, and it's like, did you even watch the cartoons? Did you read the comic books? Anything at all? Do you know what he looks like? Because the Josh Holloway, who played Sawyer from Lost, was supposed to have been casted as Gambit, and he lost out to Taylor.
You know
Kitsch.
what? He would have been a good
He would have
Gambit.
been amazing. He has the jawline of Gambit.
Even beyond looks, I want to get the
want
acting.
him to, as good as he would have been, would you want him playing a shitty Gambit, though?
I don't
Because
think
the
he would
writing
have
for Gambit
brought
in that
more
was
to the
shitty.
table than Taylor Kitsch did.
Well, he would have, but I mean, ultimately, Gambit was poorly written, which
Yes,
we
he
all
was.
agree with. He was poorly written to begin with, so why would you... I would rather remember someone good at something like, oh, he was really good in that role, instead of like, he's a good actor, but man, that fucking movie sucked.
Yeah, like, I'm not saying anything against Taylor Kitsch's acting.
Oh, it's horrible. It's not good.
See, I haven't seen him in anything else.
Battleship,
See, that's just the movie.
John Carter.
Lone Survivor,
Oh, yeah, geez.
John Carter.
He was in Lone Survivor?
Yeah, he was.
He's alright.
He's all right, but I mean, he's not.
I think what he brought to the table as Gambit was fine. If the writer was better, if the directing was better, I think that they could have got 100% Gambit instead of 40% Gambit.
But the point is that the segue back, and this, which is the same point about Gambit, is that you saw Taylor Kitsch and you found out he's Gambit. You're like, you don't look like Gambit. You don't feel like Gambit. You definitely don't sound like Gambit. I'm not impressed.
No.
And that's what Eisenberg's got right now is, you are not ruthless. You are definitely not Buddy from Breaking Bad, so you do not scare the shit out of me.
Well, look at before he was on, he played
So they
on
need to-
Malcolm in the Middle. I would have never seen him as Walter White on Breaking Bad.
Watch the behind the scenes at the end of the season, because he goes back to Malcolm in the Middle.
But that's the thing.
But I
Those
think
are
they
two
need-
contrasts.
But
Yeah.
it is. But I mean, here's the thing: is that they really pushed his character into that role.
He's never played that kind of role.
He's never played this kind of role,
And that's what's
so
gonna
that's
make the
why
break.
everyone's having a fucking meltdown right now. Is that
And-
he's never been ruthless? We can't believe this. It's never going to happen.
And that's my only issue really with Jesse Eisenberg. I have a lot of respect for him as an actor. I saw him in Social Network, and he was brilliant. I thought he was great in Zombieland. I thought he was great in was he in Adventureland?
Yes, he was.
I thought he was good in Adventureland too. But
Wasn't Kristen Stewart in it?
yes, she was.
I was just gonna say no fucking Kristen Stewart jokes.
Oh yeah,
No!
I forgot about that.
No.
I
No,
just
I didn't
asked
know
a
what
simple
Kristen Stewart
question. Was
was
she in
before,
that
I'm like,
movie? I heard she was on her knees.
For most of it, yeah.
I sort of
Anyway, back on point. I mean, he's an excellent actor, and I can see him pulling off smug asshole. He's done it before and done it very well.
smug but ruthless.
I'm not sure he can exude the kind of menace that that you would need to be Superman's arch nemesis.
No one thought Heath Ledger could either.
No, I know, you're right.
That was a huge thing.
And I am reserving judgment until I see the film, because he is such a talented actor, he might be able to pull it off. So I am in no way upset with this casting. I think he has the potential to do it. I just worry that if he doesn't, it's going to be bad for what is right now a really good start to his career.
I think the problem is, and this goes back to this generation, is that if this movie came out 30 years ago, this would not be a debate. The internet is the problem.
Yep.
They picked Bryan Cranston as Luthor because of how he played in Breaking Bad. So now everyone's like, we want Cranston, not this fucking guy. Because they've seen how Cranston can be. They see how ruthless he can be. Like, I can't even fight him on that. And now they're like, you're taking the guy from Facebook?
But that's the thing, is they're going
Like,
for shock value.
that's how
on
they're
it.
looking at it. It
They're
sounds
going
so
for
stupid.
shock value on it, and I'm going to put money on it that when the movie starts, because Luthor's character is not going to be one and done in this movie, and then he's done.
Oh,
You don't
absolutely
see him
not.
again. It's going to be like almost like a slow ramp up, more or less. In the beginning, he's going to be there, and he's going to be Luthor, but he's not going to be the diabolical.
No, he's going to be
man.
coming into the
It's
role.
like
Basically,
Michael
he's-
Rosenbaum
yeah.
in Smallville. He didn't start out like that.
But
But
that's
he's-
different, though. That was not a movie. That was a TV
It's almost
show
like
that
he's
he
going
was
to
on for
start off
78
having
years.
hair, and then partway through
You got
the
to
movie when he
see the actual
switches.
change over
Yes.
time.
See, the
Like,
thing that
this is a series of movies.
The other thing that I worry about, with as much bad press as the Man of Steel sequel has been getting, and it's been getting a lot of bad press, production delays, casting questions being the,
Bad flick, maybe wanting to leave.
the rumor that Ben Affleck might be leaving because of other time commitments. They need good press, and they need some good press soon in order to help get this back on track. Or, despite what everybody wants, everybody wants this to be a great movie, they might get so much bad press before it comes out that regardless of what any reviewer says, whether it's a pre-release review or whether it's post-release review, people may not end up going to see this movie because they just have lost faith in it.
And
And
that's
looking
problematic.
at DC's track record in the just in the last 10 years, and how much backlash they had with Superman Returns,
Oh, I own it.
Green Lantern,
I own that too.
right?
Yes, you hide your face, Todd.
People are starting to lose faith. I mean, look at what Marvel went through in the 80s and 90s before Iron Man.
Captain America, the original 80s
They
film.
really lost a lot of faith in Marvel
Any
productions, and it wasn't until Iron Man was such a runaway hit.
And X-Men.
Well, not so much X-Men, but more.
I think
I think
X-Men
Iron Man
Iron
was the big one.
I think
Iron was a big.
I think Iron Man was what
it was
fully
Robert
restored
Downey Jr., not Iron
was what fully
Well, I think-
restored people's faith
Yeah.
in the Marvel universe.
But that's a good role because that only shows you right there is that people said. I remember reading this comment somewhere. It's like it feels like Iron Man was written for Robert Downey Jr., not Robert Downey Jr. was for Iron Man.
Yeah.
Because it kind of fit how he was.
But it wasn't until Iron Man that people really started to get fully back on board with any kind of Marvel product, and DC has lost a lot of faith from their core fans.
Except for the Batman series that
With the exception of the Nolan vs. Batman, which recreated a lot of new fans.
I think Man of Steel did well. I think I'm actually excited to watch it today on Blu-ray. I think that one was a good homage, and and it really touched me in a lot of ways. And my problem is now DC's looking at the success of X-Men and Avengers, and they're like, man, we want to have, and it's true because that's what I agree with the internet on this one. DC wants to make Avenger money, and what they're basically doing is we're not making another Batman movie. I feel like they come to terms of saying Batman is never going to get its own thing ever again. And that's fine. I am happy.
No, well,
because if they do that, that means if they do that, means there's going to be another Joker. No more. No more Jokers.
No, they'll do it again, probably in about 10
Unless somehow we go back in time, grab Mark Hamill off the set of Star Wars, bring him forward, and blame him as the Joker.
It's okay.
It's a long time. You need to space that because the Nolan universe right now is probably the best-selling Batman series.
Yep.
But I mean, I think they're going to get away from Batman and they're going to build their GLA. Then you'll have your Ben Affleck, who doesn't have to give you a full 110% commitment because he won't be needed for the entire time because it's a team-up film. And he can do some other things or whatever. But now they're like, we got to rush this out. Next year, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, internet rage. But it doesn't matter. People are talking. That's all that matters.
Yes,
Wait, let's fuck everyone else up. Heisenberg is now Luthor.
How many times did they screw up with the Hulk?
Twice.
That's what I'm going to say. Exactly.
And Ruffalo said himself he would do a Hulk movie. It will never happen.
The thing is, even if they don't make a Hulk movie, they finally got it third time around because he's good for that role. Even though, the big guy is CGI, it's not Ruffalo playing.
As the Hulk. I did not.
I didn't like him even as Banner.
I did.
I preferred Ed Norton to
Ed
Norton did better. I won't deny that. But
way better than.
But I mean,
Ruffalo did better than Norton, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But Norton did better than the guy. So every time they got
the first
better.
guy, yeah.
Oh yeah, everybody did
But
better
I
than Eric
think
Bana.
when Eric Bana's Hulk came out, that was the first time we got to see the destruction of what the Hulk can do. So it's sold. It's sold only because he spanked the tank with its own turret. Yeah, that alone is awesome. But then it's then when people sat down and finally digested that movie, they went, but that movie was completely shit. Who is Eric Bana?
And
what is he in this movie?
In comic book pants?
Why was he wearing a helmet? What is happening? Why is it the Olsen twins in this movie? It's that bad.
No, for me it was, and for me it was a lot of the cinematography that bothered me. The comic book panel idea of the movie really bothered me.
Actually, that did.
I didn't like that. Wasn't good.
No,
the CGI was not good. But this was also a long time ago.
Yeah.
But and Ang Lee's directing was, I'm like, Brokeback Mountain's one thing, but you don't.
You can only direct horses to water so many times.
But yeah, but you can't. I would say getting him to direct a comic book action film was probably not the best choice.
No, it probably wasn't. And I think that Hulk, you're done. You are an Avenger. That's all you can be.
They're not going to have a Black Widow movie, are they?
No,
thank God,
so
no.
or
imagine Hawkeye to see how profitable that would be.
But Joss Whedon has said he's expanding Scarlett Johansson's role as Black Widow in Avengers 2 to kind of compensate for it.
In Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
See, Winter Soldier's going to be good.
She's not bad. I don't mind her. But
she's phenomenal actress.
I don't think that character could carry
I hate that.
its own.
Let me segue off of this, though, because Mark, I don't know if Mark knows yet. Did you know who's in Captain America Winter Soldier? GSP!
Yeah, as
what the fuck, man? He's Balrog the Leaper.
Yeah.
What the hell is a Leaper?
No, is
he a leper?
He's an actual classic.
He's a classic Captain America villain.
Oh my God, is it gonna be like Bullseye from Daredevil?
No,
Colin Farrell got a job again?
No, they actually cast him because he can physically do most of the stuff that classic character can do.
His UFC money will run out one day since he retired. No, but I think the internet is pissed off at Man of Steel in general. Just pissed off because everything that keeps happening. I think the biggest thing was, and unfortunately it's going to be that Ben Affleck is what started this ball. And to Andrew's point, there's a lot of bad press to this movie. I don't even know where you would start to turn this around. I don't even know.
Doesn't matter what they do, what they've ever done. It's not Christopher Reeves, so there's going to be a lot of people pissed off. And you know what? This guy on his own...
I'm not making that joke, Mark. Don't set me up for that joke.
This guy that's playing him now, Henry Cavill or Henry Cavill, however you want to say it, he's holding his own. He's fine.
No,
he's
phenomenal
a good
Superman.
Actor.
I enjoyed it
well.
I really enjoyed it.
He got down to something like 7% body fat.
Yeah, don't compare him to the old one. And the thing is, people... And I'm going on I'm really
Did anyone
going
compare
out on a
Batman
ledge.
to Adam West?
No, you can't because it's Adam West.
Nobody compares Batfleck to Christian Bale, which is going to be very difficult because it's so close together.
Recent, yeah.
Yeah, but if you don't compare one to the other, it could, in theory, work.
I gotta check something.
And nobody's talked.
No, because I'm looking something up.
And the whole thing with the Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot, is if she sucks, yeah, she's signed for who knows how many.
3.
Guess what? Buyout. You're
Yep.
fired. She still gets paid.
Look what they did with Megan Fox. They
'cause-
replaced her.
Exactly, and
They
it
can
doesn't.
rewrite whatever they
It doesn't matter how much they paid her for it, even if it's millions upon millions. This movie, doesn't matter how good or bad it is, will easily make $500 million box office worldwide. I'm
But-
I
calling
just
it
hope
now.
that she
It's
can
going
look
to
the
just-
part for Wonder Woman.
It's because people are trying to watch it because they're trying to understand what the hell this is about. Like, I'm even confused of what this movie's going to be about. No idea.
Because they just keep casting people, but they're not releasing.
If,
any
you know what?
stuff
I don't even know what's
whatsoever.
worse right now: the Star Wars rage or the Man of Steel rage. Like, they're both equally angry right now.
Because no one is ever.
I'm surprised the internet hasn't imploded.
Can
Like,
you
seriously.
imagine that day? Like,
I'm gonna stand by that comment.
Divided by 0, the internet's down.
No, I'm gonna stand by that comment. The internet was created for fucking fanboys to bitch. That's really what it was.
Yeah.
And it's been 20 years since Batman and Robin came out, and we're still talking about George Clooney's nipples. Like, it's true. Every time I'm subscribed to 5 to 6 different Batman pages every day. No joke. There is one George Clooney nipple meme every single day, and they're different every time. So that means there's someone in their basement at their mom's house going, "I fucking hate George Clooney. I'm gonna keep popping this shit out." You know?
And those are the people that the 5 million should go to. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
Oh.
Sorry. No.
Wow.
That's bad taste.
All right. So I think the ultimate.
Just a little.
I'm gonna say this, and we're gonna.
It was a joke.
We'll
It's a
move off of
joke.
this, but I'm not sold, but I'm not against. And I think that what they need to do to build faith with their possible audience, do a spoiler. Get some people to see something so they can go,
No, they had the
get that
football
taste
game.
in them.
The football
They won't
game.
do it at Super Bowl. It's too early.
No, but they had the football game, like the
Yeah, but
Gotham
no one was
versus
there.
whatever.
No one was there. Affleck wasn't there. No one was
No,
there.
it doesn't matter. It's a Gotham and whatever.
Gotham and Metropolis. So
Yeah,
you're going to
that's
build
what it
up.
said on the jersey.
But they'll
Gotham.
probably do the whole setup of, like, this is the first time Clark Kent meets fucking Bruce Wayne, and they kind of like, I kind of think you're up to something, but who knows. I think that they need to do something to get everyone's potentially their beaks wet at this point to make them want to watch this, because everyone right now, in my opinion, is going, I don't want to watch this, because it's like watching Batman and Robin again. No! Learn that mistake.
I'll be honest. At this point, with the news and the press that's been coming off of set, with the possibility of losing Ben Affleck, the production delays being pushed back an entire year, the only thing that has me going to see it now is the fact that I write the reviews, most of the movie reviews for the page, and that's why I'm going to see it.
So you're going to punish yourself for the sake of the page.
I watched I
But
Frankenstein.
you won't
for
go
the
do
page.
some
I'm
love
still going to
movies?
go see I, Frankenstein after your review because I know what it's like going in, and I've read a couple of reviews, and they're all pretty close to yours
Yeah.
in terms of what it is. And I still, because I like Aaron Eckhart and the other dude's name, I can't think of the
Bill
top of my
Nye?
head. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, I know.
And I have to see it. But it's the same thing with
Just-
Chris Pine. If he's in a movie, I have to see the movie, no matter how crap or girly it is.
Jack Ryan was good.
Yeah, I'm a Chris Pine fan, so I have
Well, that's-
I
Denzel
wouldn't mind
Washington.
seeing
I
Chris
have to.
Pine movies.
I know.
Oh well, you should have come with me to see Shadow Recruit when I did my review.
I just want to see Chris Pine.
Well,
He
this
doesn't
is,
take his shirt off in the movie though.
but he
so-
did in Star Trek, both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you have both Star Treks?
No.
Call yourself a fan.
No, I didn't call myself a fan. I just like.
Just
looking
watch
at it.
Arrow. It's almost like it's Chris Pine, anyways.
Seriously, Stephen
Pretty close
Amell
to the
has
same
no
thing.
problem taking his shirt off.
No,
on
but
that show.
it's
It's not like
he got that
Banshee where they
role.
have like a gratuitous scene quota, but it's up there.
But looking at, I would say, but that's
Should.
the only thing
Chris
I
Pine with
don't.
the beard.
I'm not really a big fan of. But we did get a question from the page when I actually.
Oh yes, I forgot about
when
this.
when I actually posted that we were going to be recording. I was hoping that we were going to get more questions on the Ninja Turtle stuff, but it was actually a question of whether or not we thought Jesse Eisenberg will be able to pull off Lex Luthor, and I think we all have faith that he has the potential to do it.
Potential being a very loosely used word.
Yeah, he
As
has.
long as he researches the role.
Yeah.
He reads the comic books.
I think he should sit down with
watches-
Kevin
What?
Spacey.
Yeah.
Sit down with Kevin Spacey. Sit down with Kevin Smith.
Or even
Yeah.
have a
Kevin
fucking
Smith.
seminar, do a panel. Michael Rosenbaum, Kevin Smith, and Kevin Spacey.
What
Let's
did
do
he
it.
do to research his role in Social Network?
Oh, that he sat down with Zuckerberg for like 3 hours and
So
talked
that's
to
my
him.
This
point.
is why, like, this
As long
is
as he
why
does his homework.
I have faith in actors who do their homework.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have faith in actors who research their roles, like Adrian Brody from The Piano.
Mhm.
He is amazing. To get that role, he broke up with his long-term girlfriend so that he can actually feel that depression, and he learned to play the piano on his own from scratch. The guy's amazing. Like, people that are dedicated like that, they don't just walk into a role like 5 minutes earlier. I have to fake a British accent. Okay. I'd like some tea and crumpets, please. Okay, I'm ready. Like, it's
You need
you
to
can't.
research your accent better. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You know what? But you still have.
This is on the spot.
That's my point. You didn't
I know,
research
I'm
it.
not-
I didn't. Like,
Dino
so-
shows, Gobna.
So people who do that, who don't read the books, like, and I can't believe I mentioned
You know what? Just
this,
put him and do the panel. Give him like a giant stack of Superman comics. Good Superman, like the Death of Superman. Blah blah blah. He can come in.
I think he's dedicated enough to actually do something like that.
I would
have
say
faith
sit
in
down
him
with
that
Heath
he's-
Ledger and take notes, but
Well,
too late.
didn't Heath Ledger talk to Jack Nicholson?
He talked to Jack Nicholson. He sat down with Jack Nicholson. He talked to Mark Hamill. He read like The Killing Joke over and over and over and over and over again.
Because that's almost the kind of
That's
Joker
like
they were going
that's the
for.
Joker. That's like the book of the Joker's The Killing Joke, and that's the same thing that Troy Baker did. Your new love interest, ching. Joel
It's
from The
not-
Last of Us.
No, it's Joel, the
You loved-
character
But
Joel.
that's him. It's his essence. It's him.
But he's so
And that's also
another guy listed to my list of fictional characters that I love.
that's okay. There's nothing wrong with you having crushes until they press charges and you go to jail.
Well, they can't. They're fictional. I'm not gonna stop Troy Baker. It's
I can
Joel
see it
that I
now.
like.
We're at Comic Con. A guy walks past looking like Joel.
So
You just hear Jaws music after she's
and
falling.
the other
These are like
the other
mouse.
part of his question was he would like Todd to stop harassing Gal Gadot. He thinks that it's from Steel and Iron, by the way, which is one of the pages
John
that follows it,
Torres.
also known as John Torres. She will be fine. He must not like beautiful women. I'm sorry. I didn't think Todd harassed her.
No,
I thought I was the one.
who-
No,
I thought I was the one that was harassing her until I found out that he bothers John on a regular basis. About it.
I'm just putting it, and I pointed out to him, and I don't know if he ever, I can't remember if he answered when I made the comment. I'm like, really, Gal Gadot? I'm like, Sif. And then that's it. Like, that's all I have to say. That will always be my trump is Sif.
Yeah. Well, and the photo that I showed everybody, and I don't know if I'll put it on the page or not, of Jamie Alexander in stark black hair and a blue shirt.
Damn.
And that picture to me just screamed Wonder Woman.
Absolutely.
Well, screamed to me Diana, not necessarily Wonder Woman, because of course she's not in the costume. But she had that kind of very commanding look on her face and a look that says, this is it. So, but, I'm the one that harps on her the most on the podcast because I don't think she has the screen presence. She might surprise me, and I hope she does, but from the Fast and Furious movies that I've seen, she can shoot a gun and that's it.
She needs to gain like 40
Just because you're in the
pounds.
Fast and the Furious movie doesn't mean you're an actor. The only thing that happens from the Fast and Furious franchise is getting Paige is banned for 12 hours.
It wasn't the Fast and the Furious that got the page banned.
And it wasn't the page that got banned, it was you that
You.
got banned.
I made a valid...
one unhappy camper
well, that's
that actually had the balls to say something.
Wow.
There's a lot of unhappy campers that bitch, but one person said, report.
Even though it didn't actually violate any terms and conditions. But
Yeah.
it wasn't.
Oh.
I'm not gonna say it wasn't bad.
No, it
was.
offended somebody. It
When I
offended
saw it,
somebody. so
It
too
really
bad.
bothered me that I got the page... Well, the paging is spent. I got 12 hours in the sin bin, as I call it, for something that I'm like, that is mild compared to I posted worse, and I was actually offended.
I thought the Fast and Furious 7 with the hearse was in poor taste.
Don't
in the
tell
other one.
Facebook. They might go back and look for it.
I'm not telling
Or
Facebook. anything.
even the Amy Winehouse joke, even then, I would put that a peg just a little bit higher. Just
Well,
because
'cause
it
that's
seems
so much, like, that's a lot older than the Paul Walker thing.
like 3 years now.
Yeah.
But I mean, ultimately, I get the point of it that someone got offended by it, but I mean, really, he probably wasn't even a relative of yours. You probably
Doesn't
never
matter,
knew
it
him.
offended somebody. You can't
I
offend
know,
anybody.
I know.
Can't offend
All right,
anybody.
I think we're done. Unless, you know what? I'll give Baker 1 minute to talk about Nintendo. Because I know it pissed him off yesterday.
okay. So
We're not going mobile. We're going mobile. We're not going mobile. We're fucking with you.
yeah, well, they there was a story that had leaked on, I believe it was Kotaku, that Nintendo was going to start making mini mobile games to help get them profitable again, which they desperately need.
They need money. They're bleeding.
Like
on
Android
and iPhone.
Tablets, on iPhone.
They're bleeding money like no other right now.
It's insane how much money they've lost, and of course the fact that they've dropped their projections on Wii U console sales from 9 million to 2.
Yeah.
That's massive.
Mm-hmm.
So, really bad for them. But then the CEO, the head of Nintendo, categorically denies that they are ever getting into the mobile game.
Was
business.
that Reggie?
No, it wasn't Reggie. He's not the head. He's the North American head.
North American. That's right.
But no, this was the Japanese head that categorically denied they are ever going to get into mobile games. And then not even 12 hours later, they press released that, yes, we are going to be doing mobile gaming platforms.
But this is what pisses me off is that if they just would have swallowed their pride, and that's what this is.
That's the problem.
That was a pride scenario. Oh, we fucking video games on fucking cell phones. We have the fucking DS that causes headaches. Like, yeah, if you did this a long time ago, you would have been making hand over fist of money. Put Super Mario 1 on Droid for $4.99. Do you know how many people that would buy that game?
$2.99
even. If you do anything higher than $10, the answer is it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Are you kidding me? I'm playing the original Phantasy Star on my tablet right now. The original Phantasy Star, not Phantasy Star 2, not Phantasy
There's
Star
only
3,
proves my point
Phantasy
why Sega is the better system. Sega was always the better company because Sega realized they could not win the console war, and they said, you know what? How about this? We'll make games. We're going to be profitable, and Sega is profitable.
But they're not making as
much as they would have had a console.
If they could have been,
or they could have bankrupted and belly upped.
Oh yeah, no. But if they'd be able to compete in the console wars, they'd be.
But now they're selling all their games. Yeah. They're selling all their games to all platforms now. So they're the ones that's laughing right now. They've taken the back seat saying, hey, you know what, Nintendo, you won the fucking console wars, but we're still making money. Whereas Nintendo is bleeding fucking chips like no other. And then they're going, I'm going to do the mobile game. No, I'm not going to do the mobile game. I'm going to do it. Like, fuck. If you just would have did it years ago when everyone else did, they wouldn't be worried right now. Like, I think they'd still be losing money, but maybe not at the magnitude that they're losing it now. Ow. Is that it? You got kicked out of Space Station. Yeah, if anyone's wondering where Injustice isn't playing in the background. And I was just wondering why Flash was just kicked out of the Watchtower. But I think the Nintendo got really lazy, and their ego was so big that they're like, we will never lose money. You made the Wii U. You named it the Wii U, which could be taken in so many different avenues alone.
Well, not just that, but they made the Wii U so that it wouldn't work with next generation console, or not next generation console, but next generation engines. It will not work with the new Frostbite engine. It will not work with the new Unreal engine. It's not going to.
I almost got it just to play that Zombie U,
but
that was so awesome.
And because they're not going to work with those engines that everybody is using, you're not going to see companies develop for them because they're like, well, why are we going to have to work within your own engine system when we've got something that works? When we've got consoles that are going to give us exactly what we want. The Wii U is more of a, it's essentially the Wii with HD graphics. Mm-hmm. So it's got more memory, and that's it.
I think the Nintendo is still living in that really weird philosophy of, well, we're not making money. Time to pop out another Mario Brothers game!
Yeah.
And you know what? The reviews that have come out for the new Mario has been great.
Of course, because Mario will always sell, because you will have that hardcore gamer audience that'll be like, holy shit, another Mario game.
But it's not just that it's another Mario game. It still has to perform well in order for it to get a good review. Well, I mean, there's only so many times you can pay IGN off to give you a good review.
Didn't Xbox do something like that recently?
Square Enix actually did.
No, Xbox did. I believe it. I read an article, or was I watching YouTube, that Xbox and Machinima was caught paying people to give them good reviews.
That wouldn't surprise
me. Not good timing.
Xbox is Microsoft actually has a nice little thing going on right now where they're going to give people $100.
We're going to have to now, since the fucking cat's out of the bag, that we know you're paying for your reviews.
Well, it's not a bad system, but they're $100.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Xbox One. I actually would own an Xbox One if they knocked the price down.
Well, turn in your old your working PS3.
Why would I want to turn away Elite systems? I got 3 of them.
How much is the Xbox One there?
Xbox One is
$3.99?
still $4.99. But if you trade in either your old Xbox 360 or your old PS3,
You got $100 off.
you get $100 off. So it's the same, ends up being the same price as the PS4.
But then I'm going to be in the same spot I am right now. I got a PlayStation 4 going, hi. I'm going, hi, I have no games for you.
Yeah, but the PS4 is like, what, $100 less already,
Yeah,
right?
$3.99.
Yeah,
But I mean, to go back to it, is that Nintendo...
Well, yeah, and then of course Sony comes out with the next email that says, "Save the $100, save $100, keep your console, buy a PS4."
So it's good.
That's cute. That's cute.
It's good to see that they've got good they've got a good sense.
You know, that
everybody's
console,
got a good
and
sense
you know
of
what?
humor, but
I'm going to say this, is that I hope that console war exists forever.
yes.
Because it's kind of like wrestling when you had the Monday Night Wars. They made things good, keep it. But Nintendo, this is what you should do. It's time to close the console. It's time to dig the hole out back, throw her in there with with every other
We
failed
need to
experiment
office
that you've
space
had,
that.
like the fucking Virtual Boy, still alive in the backyard. Just bury that one. And start go into the game developing race, because you know what? There's a lot of money there.
Redevelop the Power Glove. No, I'm sorry, Carrie.
Motion games are slowly dying off now. Xbox is capitalizing that market, so even Sony's kind of like, I don't think I want to play now. Because the Kinect, you can't fight the Kinect. I will give
Yeah,
that
no, it's
prop.
great.
You
It's
cannot
magical.
fight it.
It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
that thing's awesome.
And you know what? As much like the PlayStation movie, and I was kind of like, this is not that good. And that's what we sold on is, hey, we have a motion control controller. That was the new thing. You're like, oh, look, it's the fucking Power Glove with a nunchuck. Fine. But then now everyone's like, because you got your Guitar Heroes that die, you got your Rock Band that die, you got everything.
That went out fast too.
Well, Rock Band actually lasted a very long time because they stopped making games and pushed their library. But
Because that's where the money is.
that's where the money is.
And let's be honest. Like as much as everybody bitches about downloadable content, oh, it should be part of the game. It should be part of the game. Well, no. We had downloadable content before we had downloadable content. It was called expansion packs, and people still raced out and bought expansion packs for their PC
I dropped
games
like
all the time.
$500 in Rock Band tracks. Do you know how depressing that is?
Yeah.
And now you can't find a copy of Rock Band anywhere.
Anywhere.
And I have Rock Band Lego, and it censors out any song that has swearing. So
Oh.
90% of my library is not playable. And I was, but it's weird because Cannibal Corpse, Hammer Smash Face is playable, and that is just an evil song. I don't know. I don't make the fucking physics to games, but I think Nintendo should fucking retire out of the console war and say, you know what? We're going to start selling games. Because they don't. It's not like they make bad games. They just make stupid decisions when it comes to consoles. Like, in my opinion, the last good console they had was a GameCube. And the reason why I say that is because Resident Evil Remake,
Yeah.
Resident Evil 0 Remake, they started remaking all these classics, and you're like,
And they didn't have that many bad games. Like they heard
Eternal
games that-
Darkness.
Eternal Darkness.
nerd appropriate, thanks for the shout out. But I mean, Eternal Darkness, that
Yeah.
game was fucking terrifying. And you got Metal Gear Solid Remake, like, wow, why didn't PlayStation do this? Why did Nintendo, of all consoles, do
GameCube was
this?
amazing.
Super Smash Brothers came out.
Oh
That
my God.
stole the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now he's used.
And now they're just like, this is what they're doing now. They're banking on their titles that has continued, like Super Mario Brothers, Super Smash Bros. Melee, Legend of Zelda. Even the last one was kind of like iffy, from what I was told. The Wolf one, was it the last one?
That wasn't the last one. That was Twilight Princess.
That one I tried. I didn't really care for.
Wings of Skyward Sword was the last one
Is that good? I didn't play.
on the console anyway.
I
I don't know.
But I mean, why would I want to buy a Nintendo when I can't get Call of Duty? I can't get any Bethesda game. I can't get I can get Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. Fucking the worst fucking Final Fantasy to ever exist.
That was the worst Happy Dance either.
No, it wasn't. You should see my happy dance when the Habs beat the Leafs.
When did that happen?
Not this year, I don't think.
Not
No,
yet.
it has happened once.
Has it happened this year?
By
Yeah,
accident,
one of
I
the-
think we tripped into your net.
Oh, that could have been one.
That counted as a goal. But
Yeah, because this year is.
But I mean, really, like Nintendo was just sitting there, like, we gotta stay alive, man. We gotta stay alive. Why are you staying alive? It's clearly evident you're done.
The only part of their company that has been profitable in the last 5 years has been their portable gaming. Has been the DS, the 3DS, the 3DS XL.
I don't mind it. Like, I mean, I used a 3DS to play Luigi's Mansion. I didn't mind it.
Well, that's the thing, because the 3DS or the DS, the whole DS series, basically, I can't remember where I saw it, but it's destroying the PSP, the Vita, and all those.
Well,
It's owning the market on that.
Absolutely.
It's flat out
What
owning it.
happened to the
And
PSP?
And it's not
Oh, it
because they
died
have
off.
great
There
graphics.
was
or
too
anything,
many
it's
issues
just
with it.
content. That's all it is, and the crowd they're going for.
Yeah,
I'll even admit
and
that.
I'll be
I own a
honest,
Vita. Even I was sitting there going, I like the Vita. I like the feel. I like the look. But where's the games? There is no games for this. And then you buy the games. Like, they came out with Batman, Blackgate Prison, which was a prequel to the horrible Origins game that came out. It was poorly done. they half-assed it and rushed it out. So the only good game I've played was an Uncharted game, which was free.
So let's move on to the last topic, and it just kind of got sprung on us the other day.
Which one's this one?
And this will make Rainer a little bit happy, and that is
that
the
one.
casting rumor that Channing Tatum.
I'm the one that put that up.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
the casting rumor that Channing Tatum is going to be Gambit.
But will he ever be able to say, "There you are, Wolverine"?
Yes,
Oh, I
he's
mean,
from New
Hopefully better than
Orleans.
that.
Actually, he's from
Oh, I mean-
Alabama.
Hey, I did it better than Taylor Kitsch right there.
Yeah, you actually
But
did.
he's a Southern boy.
Exactly.
Southern boy would be going to church too.
And the thing is, what
Fried
people
chicken.
think is great about it is that he's a fan of it. He knows the character and
Exactly.
so on. But the only
He
thing
asked.
I'm going to
Uh-oh.
say to that, and I'm going to play devil's advocate,
Uh-oh.
is who is one of the biggest names that's a fan of Superman? Nicolas Cage. Does that mean he would be good as
Oh,
Superman?
Remember that?
Negative.
Remember those pictures floating around?
But I'm just being the devil's advocate. I'm not saying that he's going to suck his Gambit if he becomes that. But just being a fan doesn't make
It's
him
going-
automatically good.
It's going back to the fact that he knows Gambit.
Yes.
It's the fact that he has clearly done his research. I could actually see him going to get voice lessons to perfect the Cajun accent. I could see that happening.
And
hope it
it doesn't
doesn't-
take much
he
to pick
doesn't-
up an accent.
I hope it isn't
Well,
Van
yeah,
Damme that
spend a-
teaches him.
Spend a month.
Physically, like his face, I don't think he's got the jawline like Josh Holloway. If you put, I mean, actually, I think Josh Holloway. If it's between Channing Tatum and Josh Holloway, I think Josh Holloway should have been given the role. He did an amazing Southern accent in Lost, and I don't know. I think that same thing. If you give him time with a voice actor, he could pull off the Cajun accent. Physically, I think Josh Holloway would pull it off easier, but I think that Channing Tatum's dedication, and again, he's proven himself as an actor in various roles, I think he'll be fine.
I think that
Could be.
I don't want to jump
I'm not
the gun.
saying he's going to be amazing.
I'm not saying
but
he's
he'll
not going to be a
better.
bad Gambit. What will determine what he is like is going to be the same fate that happened to Taylor Kitsch. Is that one, what movie is he
Writer,
going to be in?
Director.
Who's writing it?
It's
Yeah.
supposed to be a solo movie. It's
no.
supposed to be a solo
It
movie.
should not be a solo
Wow.
movie. Gambit was. I'm not saying he was not great of a character, so don't get angry. He does not deserve a solo movie.
Not yet.
There's no
It's
storyline that I'm aware of. I will say that
If it's an origin story of Gambit, then yes, there is.
But they had that
He has
idea
a
for
rich past.
Cyclops and Storm, and they shot that down because they knew it wouldn't be profitable.
They'd have to do it, in my opinion, the same way they did with Wolverine. They did the X-Men movie, and then people were like, "Oh, Wolverine!" Because everybody knew that
But
Wolverine.
the thing
was
is,
the
though,
most
is that everyone wanted
and
Hugh Jackman.
Then they made an Origins of Wolverine for the casual fan. So if they just make an Origins movie of
You know what they
Gambit,
should?
the casual fan won't get it.
I would do a soft launch for Age of Apocalypse. I would just pop him in there, see how he does, and if he does well, Hugh Jackman would never have got any of his own movies if it wasn't for the fact he sold his Wolverine in the X-Men.
Yeah.
Because everyone is not when you say X-Men, no one thinks of any other character besides Wolverine because Wolverine
And
is
that drives me nuts.
That pisses me off because
But it's
Well,
that's the
Colossus
character
is
that
kinda
they've sold
dumb.
more because who else
Exactly.
who else has had his own movie on his own? He's had two.
Yeah.
None of the other
And
characters,
it's
no matter
only
how good
because
they
of the-
are.
It's only because of how it happened too. I mean, they wrote. It's like they wrote X-Men
They-
for
to
Wolverine.
create a
It's
Wolverine
like-
But
Yeah.
also
Like, come
for
on,
the
X-Men?
casual.
And in the comic books, it's the
fan.
same way in the comic books. Everyone related to Wolverine in the comic book. Where I was a Gambit fan in the
Rogue and
in the
Gambit were my
X-Men
two-
comic
my
books because
Southern duo.
it pissed
So.
me off because Gambit was such a diverse character, and we're all like, the Wolverine gets more screen time. There is useless characters. Cyclops, useless.
Morph.
Morph was funny.
Yes, he was.
He was only in the cartoons, so he can.
He was funny, but there's
Even in the cartoon,
Colossus,
he came
you're
back
like,
as Mr.
I don't
Sinister.
think Colossus got a biggest push that he could have had.
No.
Yeah.
He could pick someone up and toss him out of the fucking orbit if he felt obliged. And they're like,
He's not that strong, but okay.
just the scene, just when the scene was it the third one, they fought the Sentinel in the danger room. I was like, that's it. He just picks up Wolverine and tosses him. Colossus, if refresh my memory if I'm wrong, was even in the animated series he took on a Sentinel and just fucking obliterated it it was nothing.
Yeah.
But the
Well,
Sentinels in
because-
this one is like what, 15, 16 feet tall?
No, they're not that tall. I think they were like 10 feet tall.
Because in the comic book and everything, they're like 40, 50 feet.
Yeah, they're like
Some of them are
cartoons,
giant, massive.
They are
robots.
they are enormous.
And you know what? I will give the Sentinels one thing, and they look good. That is a positive comment I will give
yeah,
this
they
upcoming
look
movie.
modern. It's definitely not mid-90s.
Yeah,
but-
Sentinels.
All right.
And we're also working. I think also working in Channing Tatum's favor is the fact that he actually already auditioned for the role of Gambit before it got cut out of X-Men 3. What was that? Last Stand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a question: how tall is he? Do you think?
I think he's 6 feet tall.
6'1".
Channing Tatum.
Okay, so he's got that going. Because I mean, I would hate to have a midget fucking Gambit.
He's 6'1".
Yeah, there you go.
Because I remember when they said Gambit's going to get a movie, we're like, oh, it's going to be Jean-Claude
And
Van
the
Damme.
thing is though with him though, he can easily, if he needs to, and he can beef up a little bit.
No, he
Like
needs to
not
know.
rock beef up, but he can beef up.
Gambit
or
was
he
never
can
a
slim
huge
down a
guy.
little bit
No,
and be more
Gambit
normal.
Was a slender.
Yeah.
He was a
Very
lean and
lean.
agile character, which I think is another thing that works well for Channing Tatum. I mean, let's not forget where his big breakout roles came from, which was Step It Up,
Oh.
where he was a dancer.
And Magic Mike.
Yeah, because he
A different
was
kind
a
of
stripper.
dancer.
That's how
Yeah.
he got known, because he was a stripper.
Yeah.
He was. Come on, he was
He-
in The Vow. He was in.
No, but he got known by a producer because he was stripping, and they're like, "Oh, he looks really good," and that's thus his acting career.
He was actually
He was a
really
model.
great in
He was
side
a model
effects.
or
Yes, he
something.
was an Abercrombie.
I remember
Fitch
hearing
model.
that
Well, we're
story.
not talking about his.
But I mean,
like,
can
where
he play
got his
Gambit?
Start, but
Can he play Gambit? I'm
I
going to
think
say
he
yes,
can.
but I think it's going to depend on the writing. As if
Yeah,
he's going,
it's-
he's not going to get his own spin-off.
it's
I think they do. I think you're just setting him up for failure at this point.
I'm
Well,
I'm
that's
just
how they
worried
set
about.
Taylor Kitsch up for failure. Everyone hates Taylor Kitsch, and I keep saying he only had so much to work with.
I hate Taylor Kitsch well before X-Men.
Yeah.
I do
didn't
not
know-
like him as an actor.
But let's be honest. The only thing that has me worried about the Gambit movie is not Channing Tatum as an actor, because he's proven that he can act in action.
He's
He can
shown
act
in 21
drama,
Jump Street that
and he
changed
can
my
act in
perception.
comedy.
We cannot start quoting that movie.
Not again.
No, again, no.
No, we had like an admin chat, and I was like, we're talking about this, and I'm like, you know what? He made me believer. When I didn't say believer, it's a believer. I gotta make sure I say that because people think I say believer. But no, when I saw 21 Jump Street, I'm like, this guy can act.
Yep.
He's
Yep.
not just a fucking meathead.
Nope, he's not a meathead.
And
No,
now
he's not.
and then GI
But-
Joe, I gave him a pass on GI Joe. That wasn't his fault.
But he played his character well. That's the thing.
He played
Yeah.
Duke, and he died very well in the second one.
Duke
But,
wasn't the most.
No, he wasn't.
No.
he wasn't the
Just like
problem.
Wolverine.
Marlon Wayne's
Fucking-
character was the problem.
Oh,
And it's pretty bad when you have to go, hey, Rock, can you come save our franchise?
Yeah.
And then
But-
that's that. But I mean, now you see him in that role, and what else did he do?
He's done drama and things like The Vow and Dear John.
Uh,
He's done action in more than just GI
He
Joe.
was in-
He's an amazing comedian.
Was he in the movie This Is the End? The one where
Yes, he
he
played-
was like a sex slave or something.
He was yes.
That was actually very funny.
That was the best. So I mean, he has no problem being self-deprecating. He's not your typical meathead actor.
even though he looks it. That's the thing.
That's the thing. And so, but you know what? I can take him seriously from the other roles that I've seen him in.
Yeah.
And I think what worries me is that Fox owns the X-Men rights, and if they run this like they ran the first 3 X-Men movies
No,
and Wolverine Origins, it could be a failure.
I mean,
But
I'm not mad
they-
with the X-Men movies. I mean,
If they run it like they ran the second
They should have
Wolverine movie,
portrayed the characters.
like they ran First Class,
Much better.
like I'm hoping they're
They
going
should
to
have ruined
run
Rogue.
Days of Future
Or
Past,
anyone.
they might just have something here where they can introduce a new rogue that can
I would
act.
happily audition for
I think
that.
we should just call Amy Paquin Jubil Rogue or whatever.
Juba Rogue.
Juba Rogue, because really
No,
she was
that
playing the
will
role of
offend-
Jubilee, but there's
That
Rogue.
will offend because some
Or
people take it the
Rogalee.
wrong way.
Oh my God, really? That wasn't a Jew comment. I said
Rogue.
Jubal
How
Rogue.
about Rogalee?
Rogalee.
Rogalee.
That'll offend people.
That'll
use
offend the
Rogalee.
Swedes. Like I can't win here.
Sorry,
No,
Rogalee.
yeah, we'll go with Rogalee.
So I think
So I think they can if they do it right, they can reintroduce a new rogue that can redefine that character to the point where, you know, maybe after she's been with Mystique and she's absorbed Ms. Marvel's powers, so she's strong and can
Yeah,
fly.
Well,
Like-
that they never wrote Miss Marvel into the movies.
yet.
They never wrote anything about
Yet.
that,
Yet.
acknowledging at all that.
Well, maybe they don't need to
Nightcrawler
write Ms.
is-
Marvel.
Well, I mean,
Marvel-
they have to do something because I mean, you're making the Days of Future Past, which is like the coveted comic of all X-Men.
Well, they've
Yeah.
cut
And then
Rose-
now you're like, by the way, after you finish masturbating to that, we're doing Age of Apocalypse, which is like the scariest one. We're like, get through this film first. Can we see how this turns out?
They didn't. They announced Age of Apocalypse when they were doing ADR and post.
I know, but I mean,
Days of Future Past. So I think it was a good time to kind of tease the announcement.
I think it's too early. What if this flops? What if the nerd rage?
Come on.
I'm just saying. I know, but I have to play devil's advocate. I have to.
I
know it's not going to.
Look at the success of First Class.
They said Superman Returns wasn't going to flop. What happened there?
Even with mediocre writing, look who's in it. The actors will carry it, even if it's poor writing.
But Bryan Singer directed Superman Returns.
Yes, so.
And he's directing this.
But he's not acting in it.
Let's look at it. Let's look at
Patrick
this.
Stewart wasn't in it.
Let's look at this.
Ian McKellen was.
You know what? This is how we're going to figure it out. Is Stan Lee doing a cameo? Yes or no?
No,
it's done.
Stan Lee hasn't done a cameo in any X-Men movie.
He should.
But let's look.
Wait a minute. Yes, he did. He did X-Men 3. He was outside of the lawnmower, and she picked it up when she was freaking out.
He's done one cameo in one X-Men movie. But let's look at this. Let's look at the fact that X-Men. Let's look at X-Men First Class. Was probably the best reviewed of all of the X-Men movies. Probably the best written of all of the X-Men movies. Sure, it rewrites all the canon.
I can with that.
Because the First Class did not have. The First Class had Cyclops, Jean, Iceman, and Beast, not Havoc and.
But they also had the.
And Moira McTaggart is Scottish and lives on Muir Island in Scotland.
Right, so they rewrote a lot of the canon.
But I think what they did a lot in that one is trial and error. They're like, we're going to better pick our actors for this guy.
And for the most part, they did.
I like the girl who played her.
Michael Fassbender, amazing.
It's not.
What?
Clean up aisle her?
Clean up aisle Rainer.
Here. Oh, there are.
Someone said Michael Fassbender.
Ah! Get them up!
Someone said Michael Fassbender.
No, I did. Michael the guy is just an amazing actor, sort of Prometheus. But, I mean, that wasn't his fault either. But, I mean...
He's just good in Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, the bastards. See, I wish there could be a sequel to that movie. I need to see the Bear Jew. That is not a racial slur. But I need to see the Bear Jew.
Character.
It's a character reference. Absolutely.
Rose Byrne. That's
Byrne.
who it was.
But I don't want to say there's going to be a second one because I don't want Tarantino to pull that one off the shelf, too.
But the thing with First Class is, they rewrote a lot of the canon from the comics, which I'm probably the only one in the room that doesn't have a major problem with it. But in rewriting that canon, as long as they keep that consistent through the rest of the movies now, and I think Days of Future Past is going to retcon the first 3 X-Men movies, which I don't know about anybody else. I think that's kind of a good idea.
Well, I mean, here's one thing I need to ask, and this is only because we want to have the continuity, whatever you want to call it.
Continuity, yeah.
Thank you. I can't speak right now. How are they going to do the switch over? They didn't really say anything because Patrick Stewart died. Well, I know it's Picard. He lives forever. But Xavier died. We all know he jumped into that body, and just suddenly we have this trailer where he's like, "Hey guys, you need to go back in time now."
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how.
I want to see how they're going to tie that together because I know they don't want to just pop it, but then. Of course, we're going to be stuck in another movie for 2 hours just to watch 3 minutes after the credits and go, we know Age of Apocalypse is coming. I need to know how you're going to do this one. Because that's really what Wolverine was to me. 2 hours for 3 minutes. Just me to go, that makes sense.
That's okay.
It's good, though.
I liked it, but I mean, no, come on. In terms of the level here, Wolverine was kind of below.
I watched Wolverine to watch Wolverine, not to watch the end credits.
I'll be honest. When I watched the Wolverine movie and I wrote my review, I said this is the Wolverine movie we've all been waiting for.
It was a lot better than Origins because they did not wreck Deadpool in this movie.
Because this was a movie about Wolverine. They went into they pulled enough from the comics to make comic book fans happy and angry, and they made enough original content to bring fans into the movie. So I thought it was a great mix of everything. The only thing that I missed, was Lady. I love Lady Deathstrike. Whenever he went to Japan, she was always a big role. But,
yep, she was.
Then she turned into a cyborg.
Yeah.
I don't know how they wrote that into the X-Men 2, Lady Deathstrike. I'm like, that's not Lady Deathstrike.
Cyborg?
They didn't actually come out and say.
Did you not see what happens to her in the cartoons?
Yeah, she kind of does go a little.
Well, yeah, okay, in the cartoons.
But I mean,
it's turned in. Okay.
And X-Men 2, though. In
It's been a long time since I've seen the cartoons.
Do your research, guys. Jeez.
No, in X-Men 2, they didn't come out and say it was her.
I'm gonna punch Mark.
They didn't come out and say that it was Lady Deathstrike, but you're like, you could.
Yeah, that was Lady Deathstrike.
She's casted as Lady Deathstrike.
I know, but I'm like, this is not what happens.
No, it's not.
But that's me being anal. I got over it over time. But I mean, it feels like to me every time I hear about a team up movie, JLA, and this, it feels like they saw the Avengers money and they think they can do it, and now they're gonna pull the stops. Like Age of Apocalypse, first off, I don't even know who's gonna be Apocalypse.
Apocalypse is going to be a guy in a suit with CGI markers around him to build the.
But
rest
I mean
of
the voice actor.
He's going to do the. He's going to. Oh, who's going to be the?
That'd be fantastic. Though, who'd be Apocalypse? And then what's next? They're gonna be
His
like,
voice is terrifying.
yeah. Well, you know, James Avery could have done it. No, rest his peace. But I mean, I don't know who originally voiced him. Who originally voiced him?
Don't say you.
No.
Okay,
You know who I'd like to. You know who I think if he's still around.
Who?
And I cross my fingers because I love the man so much. Could you imagine James Earl Jones voicing?
Yes.
He's around.
He's still
I think
alive.
he's still alive.
He's still doing Verizon commercials.
I know. I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hopefully, he'll still be with us when the movie comes out. But
You know what? I think he's senile now.
No, he's not. But could you
No,
see
he's
him?
still-
Could you? He was in The Big Bang Theory last week.
Well, doesn't mean
But
anything.
could you see him? Could you see him doing
Yeah.
Apocalypse's voice?
No.
I mean, you would.
Nah, I need like
You'd put a little bit of a voice modulation on him,
You
but
screw around with the voice.
you had to make it a
but
little
you
bit
can do
deeper. It just, I mean,
Okay, hold on.
wait,
a little bit deeper.
a little
Are
bit
you on
deeper than
drugs,
James
Ray?
Earl Jones.
I don't know. Apocalypse's voice is deeper than Darth Vader.
yeah, and it's more like.
It's terrifying. I don't
If you know
think
what?
James
What's his
Earl
face?
Jones-
I can fucking Sherlock Holmes. What's his name?
Benedict
Benedict
Cumberbatch?
Cumberbatch?
Imagine that. Because his voice is so fucking commanding, you have to stop and look.
No, that is true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Because he also wasn't he Smog as well?
He was Smaug,
And he-
yes.
Yeah,
and
so
he
you're
was,
just like-
and he was the necromancer.
Yeah.
So
He's
you know,
a-
I mean,
Brilliant
like
actor.
I'm not a huge fan of. I never thought I'd like him, but then when I saw Star Trek too, I was like,
He's
Holy
amazing. As
shit.
Sherlock, I like.
but you know, then you had all the fanboys freak out about that. But anyways, I think 2 hours is going to be our mark.
are we at 2 hours?
We're at 2 hours.
All right.
I'm
Well,
hungry.
I just want to wrap off and wrap up with if we can't get Benedict Cumberbatch and we can't get James Earl Jones, then I would recommend Steve Blum.
I heard Bobcat Goldthwait isn't doing anything these days.
No, Steve Blum, guys. If you don't,
I know who he is. I actually
you
that's a
don't-
good pick.
You know,
if you guys don't know who he is, check out his IMDb page because chances are you've heard his voice in something because the man
Troy
is one of the
Baker.
most
Troy
prolific.
Baker.
I don't know.
You know what?
I'm kidding.
You know who has a good voice that probably could pull it up? Like Nolan North has so many fucking voices. I'm
Yeah.
sure he has something he can throw around.
Maybe I still say Steve Blum though because he can do evil, deep, and menace. So I would go with Blum over any other male voice actor out there.
Who played the voice of Unicron?
he's dead now.
He's dead.
Is
The
he
voice
dead?
of Unicron was the
He
voice of
died
Unicron.
like a year after the movie.
Was the voice of Unicron not Orson Welles?
Yes,
Oh, was it Orson Welles?
Yeah.
Shit.
and he's dead.
All right. Well, that's it. 2 hours of joy. I think this is the longest podcast we ever recorded in the history of our podcast. Pretty long,
Sorry.
and it wasn't boring. Thanks, Mark, for showing up and taking our podcast to 2 hours.
And participating.
And
huh?
yeah, it's kind of weird to hear in the background this time.
So just to kind of wrap everything up, I'll give you guys all of our contact information. So if you ever have any questions about the podcast or you want to contact us, you can reach us on Twitter at oh crap, what the hell's our Twitter handle again? At
The droids you're looking
TDYALF
for.
Abbreviated.
underscore Canada.
Yeah,
the
that's one.
So TDYALF
You know what?
underscore Canada. On Twitter. Find us on our Facebook page, Facebook / The Droids You're Looking For Canada. You can even email us at The Droids You're Looking For Canada at Outlook.com.
Yep, that's us.
At Outlook.com.
Please email us because no one does.
Yeah, no one emails us.
Who uses Outlook? I'm sorry, Carrie.
No, we didn't. That's what they assigned us.
We used Outlook so that we could sync it through Skype easier.
Oh, okay. Sorry, carry on. Sorry.
Yeah.
Carry on.
You can follow me at abakern7 on Twitter. You can follow Todd at
Good old Mr. J.
at dear old
Mr. J. I don't even
Dear
know,
Uncle
man.
Jay.
Yeah.
Just
Dear-
I'm always
dear-
posting. Trust me,
dear-
you can't miss me.
Dear.
Yeah, I'll retweet them a couple times for our Twitter followers. And I think those are all of our points of contact because I don't think Rainer wants to give out her Twitter.
Rainer.
That's
Don't be
fine.
like
What's your
Rainer.
phone number? No, I'm just kidding.
I'll give it. Fine.
No, we don't-
I'll
we
give
don't want-
Rainer's Twitter handle.
don't
It's
want-
I love Troy Baker forever, and I will stalk him till he dies.
Because
I love you, Joel.
I
At
don't want.
Twitter.
Well, nobody wants Rainer to get any creepy.
I
Fans.
said I love you, Joel, at Twitter at the end. So it's
That's why I don't want my picture up on the page.
Yeah.
and Mark's Twitter page is Mark. I don't even know
Oh,
what.
I have one, but I just don't know.
You
what it
should
is.
use it more often. All right. Well, I didn't eat a chimichanga today. I feel like I cheated out the podcast for not having a chimichanga. I just didn't have
No,
time.
you shouldn't have a chimichanga.
Then you delete
ever.
it. You delete it.
I
It's a waste of
Chimichangas are
time.
fine.
310 calories per
So
chimichanga.
what?
Have a
You have
chimichanga.
one.
Game over, man. It's game over.
Thanks for listening to the Droids You Are Looking For podcast. Stay tuned for next week's podcast.
Remember, the Force will be with you, always.